last month. A local Senate Democrat wants public money to aid Illinois political candidates, relying on small contributions. Democrat Senator Daniel Biss of Evanston is aiming to blunt, he says, the influence of wealthy donors in races from governor to legislative seats. Contributions of $25 to $150 in his proposal would be matched by 6 times that amount in public funding. Dominic Matthews, a career-high 28. UIC closed on an 8-0-8-1 run, and they topped the Penguins of Youngstown State 84-81. Blackhawks continue their 6-game road trip tonight against the Jets. Bulls square off with the Suns tonight in Phoenix. Tomorrow, the Fighting Illini look to win back-to-back games for the first time since before Christmas. Tomorrow at home against Penn State. The news, a service of Westin Hotels and Resorts. Westin knows how disruptive travel can be to your well-being, but with rejuvenating Heavenly Beds, a nutritious Superfoods RX menu, and gear lending for when you leave that workout gear at home, Westin will help you stay in control and rise above it all. Westin, let's rise. Learn more at Westin.com. 5:05, we'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
A new president has taken office, and now he must get to work. What will President Trump accomplish in his first 100 days? What should his priorities be? Join AM 560 for an exciting evening on Wednesday, March 22nd. It's Trump, the first 100 days, featuring Sean Hannity, Mike Gallagher, Dan Proft, and Joe Walsh. See them all live at the Bolingbrook Golf Club. Tickets are on sale now at 560theanswer.com/Trump. Sponsored in part by MyPartsGarage.com.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Mark Weingart, President and CEO of Star Creations, Inc., the fastest growing supplier of wall decor products in the U.S. When it comes to banking, I don't want to be a small fish in a big pond. That's why I bank at Signature Bank Chicago. At Signature Bank, every customer is important. I know I can pick up the phone and talk to any one of the decision makers I know and trust at Signature Bank. At Signature Bank, they understand and respond to the unique needs of my business with flexibility and fairness. I'm proud to bank with Signature Bank because I know they're deeply invested in the success of Star Creations.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. Learn more about turning your business vision into reality. Visit signature-bank.com. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
5:07 in Chicago. Let's get an update on the roads. Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center time. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Michael. Things are looking better at Chicago's airports today compared with yesterday with that weather in the Northeast. There are a few delays at O'Hare, mainly for arrivals. Very few cancellations at either Chicago airport. Problems in Northwest Indiana. Northbound I-65 remains closed from State Road 10 of the Roselawn area to State Road 2. It's due to a truck fire closing all lanes. Your mile marker 232. The traffic is diverted off northbound 65 at State Road 10. West Chicago, there's a crash crest at Roosevelt. The Kennedy Express lanes are now open after they've been closed for overnight maintenance, and some work downtown is cleared, so the Chicago expressways and tollways right now look great. Traffic is a service of Al Piemonte Ford in Melrose Park. Stop. Before you buy your new car, you must visit Al Piemonte Ford now. Truckloads of new cars and trucks have just arrived, and everything is priced to sell quickly. Al Piemonte Ford, 25th and North Avenue in Melrose Park. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Jim, thank you. Chicago's Morning Answers starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the aircomfort.com Weather Center, let's get the very latest this morning. Meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Today, breezy and milder with periods of clouds and sun. High 42. Tonight, rather cloudy, low 34. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy with a high 46. Overcast with a little rain tomorrow night with a low 33. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Right now, 20 at O'Hare, 21 along the lakefront, 19 this morning in Lansing. Your next news update is at 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Illinois Rising, hosted by Dan Proft and the Illinois Policy Institute. Sunday afternoons at 3 on AM 560 The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560 The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So one bit of breaking news overnight, because this happened at 2 in the morning. Tom Price confirmed as your HHS, Health and Human Services Secretary. Party line vote, 52-47. But Price is confirmed, so Trump's cabinet continuing to take shape.
Yeah, now can they focus on trying to overturn Obamacare now that he's in?
Well, that will certainly be
his probably number one priority.
His charge won't be on the overturning part. His charge will be on the implementation of the repeal. Right. And frankly, since Tom Price has drafted legislation as a member of Congress, he's a congressman from Georgia, don't forget, he actually has a vision for what repeal should look like and is being used, I think, as the template for the Republican alternative plan to Obamacare. So he'll be instrumental in the replace part, and Paul Ryan has said repeal will happen before the end of the year. So that will be one of many parallel tracks that the Trump administration is on over the next 9 months, 10 months. So that was one thing that happened. And then, of course, one of the big news items from yesterday is the Ninth Circuit, as expected, upheld the injunction on Trump's temporary travel ban for citizens of the 7 countries that were listed in his executive order. And understand, we were just talking to Mike Scott about this before the show, understand what the Ninth Circuit did. It didn't overturn Trump's executive order. It upheld the injunction that was imposed on it by the federal district court. And, oh, by the way, at the federal district court level, there is a difference of opinion. This underreported. Trump actually did mention this in his remarks before the National Sheriff's Association earlier this week. But there was a federal district court judge in Massachusetts which let a temporary restraining order that had been entered against the enforcement of President Trump's executive order expire, and which denied further injunctive relief. So you had district courts reach different conclusions on enjoining the executive order. Obviously, the Ninth Circuit is the first appellate court to take this up on appeal, and they ruled, the 3-judge panel ruled unanimously to uphold the injunction for now.
Yeah, and part of the 29-page opinion, they said that the travel ban's not necessary for national security because the government failed to offer any evidence that anyone from these 7 countries have committed a terrorist attack in America or on American soil.
Yeah, that was one of the arguments they made, and it's really a troubling legal argument. There was, David French writes about this in National Review, there was a failure by the Trump administration to include documentation and evidence demonstrating the threat of jihadists from the 7 identified countries. And remember, this is based on, and you know, that could, if there was sensitive information, that could have been
redacted.
Well, redacted for the public record and otherwise put under seal by the court. So that was a curious lack of inclusion based on the evidence that has had to be gathered at this point, going back to the previous administration.
But you know, then they also almost welcomed a rewrite, though, of his executive order.
But just on this notion of not providing evidence to support the threat from these 7 countries, whether an attack has been completed in this country or not is not the standard for implementing heightened security measures.
Okay. So
the standard that the Ninth Circuit promulgated has never been the standard. It is illogical for it to be the standard. There was an admitted failure to have the record be as robust as it could have been on this issue. But this idea, an attack hasn't occurred, so you can increase security. What? I'm sorry. that's number one. That's a completely made up legal standard. Number two, what kind of logic is that?
Well, we got the 7 countries from the Obama administration, correct? They're
Yeah,
the ones who originally put the list together of the 7 countries.
well, and don't believe
Because Obama administration might have been wrong.
don't believe me. Don't
Yeah.
believe me. Believe Jay Johnson, President Obama's Homeland Security Secretary, who in July of 2014, before the House before the House Homeland Security Committee, had this to say, bragging, really.
Foreign terrorist travel, the prospect of foreign terrorist travel to our homeland keeps me up at night. Of course, cybersecurity, aviation security, border security, the prospect of what we refer to as special interest aliens arriving on our southern border are things that we should all be focused on and dedicated to addressing. We have enhanced the security around our visa waiver program with the help of this Congress last year. We now have the ability to deny visa-free travel to those who have traveled to Syria, Sudan, Iraq, Iran, and as a result of the 3 new countries I added to the list because of this new legislative authority, Yemen, Somalia, and Libya.
There's your 7.
Okay.
And Jay
Oh,
Johnson bragging about all he's done to restrict travel to this country from individuals from those countries. So, okay. Prove up.
Well, Donald Trump's handling it well. All capital tweet, see you in court. The security of our nation is at stake, exclamation point.
Yeah, he talked to some NBC correspondents as well and sort of reiterated the tweet in verbal form.
We'll see them in court. It's a political decision, and we're going to see them in court, and I look forward to doing it.
So you believe the judges made a political
We have
decision?
a situation where the security of our country is at stake, and it's a very, very serious situation. So we look forward, as I just said, to seeing them in court.
Sir, do you think this has undercut the early days of your presidency? This is such a core issue.
This is just a decision that came down, but we're going to win the case.
And so,
Seems a little agitated, but
well, I'd be agitated too. I mean, you're unsurprised by the Ninth Circuit. So the
but there wasn't a Bush appointee on that Ninth Circuit.
yes, and
I don't know. If people think this is all completely political, wouldn't he have it been a 2-1 ruling?
I don't know. You had a George W. Bush appointee at the federal district court level that enjoyed it in the first place.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's just because and we talked to Tim Carney from Washington Examiner, and he made the note that Hobart, at the federal district court judge, was like part of a quid pro quo with a liberal senator for another senator for another judge to the federal bench that W wanted to get confirmed by the Senate. So these things are a little bit more complicated. We've seen it. Judge Roberts was a Bush nominee for the Supreme Court. Souter. I mean, just because a Republican president nominates you doesn't mean that you don't turn out to be another judicial activist. We've seen this happen myriad times. So you had a Carter appointee, an Obama appointee, and a W appointee. 3-0. Is this a politicized decision? Of course it is. Do we have judges acting as a super legislative body? Of course we do. That's exactly what happened. And by the way, just in terms of the politicization of this whole thing, the response, you want to talk about the response from Trump. How about the response from Washington Governor Jay Inslee?
I'm not familiar with the man.
He's the
He's
governor of
Yeah, I know
Washington
now.
State. One of
did he
the
do?
states at bar in this case. In response to Trump's tweet, we'll see you in court. Mr. President, we just saw you in court and we beat you.
Ooh.
So this is we beat you. Is this a sporting event? Is this an election? Or is this about the rule of law?
Is this about our national security?
We beat you.
Wow. So how is the Justice Department going to proceed here? I mean, and does the Supreme Court have to take the case? They don't have to take the case, do they?
They don't have to take the case. They will take the case if the administration pursues it. There is an argument to be made, though, that perhaps the better course of action, particularly given the court's current constitution, would be to rewrite the executive order to address some of the language that was grabbed onto by the federal district court judge, the 3 appellate court judges of the Ninth Circuit, and essentially kind of start over, if you will, lay the proper foundation, provide the evidence that was lacking in the administration's supporting documentation, and just have a bit of a do-over, second bite at the apple, if you will. That may make the most sense. Ed in Oak Brook, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Dan, and good morning. One of the things that upsets me the most and actually makes me angry is the argument. One of the arguments that the left made that they need this so they can allow better students to come into this country. Yeah. And then I'm looking at my tax bill and I'm seeing all of this money going to all these educators' pensions, and I see what these teachers are making in these colleges that really don't even teach. They have someone else do it for it, and they can't even grow or educate the kids that are in this country that we're supporting all of these colleges, and yet they got to go out and they brag about how they got to recruit better students because our kids are not good enough. Well, can't these people connect the dot and see what these liberals are doing to this country? Have a nice day.
Thanks for the call, Ed. Ed's right about the issue of college students, the standing issue. Did the states of Washington and Minnesota have standing to assert the legal claims against this executive order? The Ninth Circuit ruled they did, and said in their holding, the necessary connection can be drawn in at most 2 logical steps. The executive order prevents nationals of 7 countries from entering Washington and Minnesota. As a result, some of these people will not enter state universities. Some will not join those universities as faculty. Some will be prevented from performing research, and some will not be permitted to return if they leave. So that was specifically raised, and it's sort of an extraordinary statement if you kind of walk through the legal implications. The court is using the possibility of specific harm with respect to key state institutions like universities. They're using specific to confer general standing on states to act on behalf of immigrants as a class. As a class, that is fairly broad. In fact, it's unbelievably broad, and it has real legal implications if you don't have the high court ultimately weigh in on this and kind of reset the constitutional balance on this matter.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Today, breezy, milder with periods of some sun and clouds, a high of 42 degrees. And tomorrow, Saturday, it's going to be mostly cloudy but unseasonably warm, a high in the mid to upper 40s. So make your tea time, Dan, for your golf tea time. And on Sunday, we're going to have a little rain in the morning, and that might turn into snow showers by the afternoon, a high of 42 degrees. Let's get into our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center and open the doors to Jim Telemonte.
Good Friday morning, Amy. Good morning, Dan. I-65 northbound remains closed at State Road 10 and Rose Lawn. There is a vehicle fire north of there involving a semi, so all lanes are shut down. Mile marker 232, so traffic's forced off northbound 65 at State Road 10. That closure extends up to State Road 2 in Lowell. Inbound Stevenson, traffic is a little slow now from State to Lakeshore Drive, just a 1 or 2 minute delay. Inbound Ryan, a little congestion approaching downtown. The other expressways and tollways right now are looking good. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
If you've never been to a coin show, here's your chance to find out what collectors and investors have known for years. It's fun, full of history, and it can be a great investment. Make plans to attend the Greater Chicago Coin, Currency, and Collectibles Show. It's one of the largest in the nation, and it's free. The show is at the Tinley Park Convention Center, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, February 23rd through 25th. Admission and parking is free. Just bring your photo ID. Hundreds of dealers, the best coin dealers from all over the country. See displays valued at millions of dollars, U.S. and world paper money, gold and silver bullion, and a lot more. Friday at 5, Fox Valley Coins will hold a rare coin auction. This is a show for the whole family, collectors, investors, or if you just want to find out more about coins, currency, and collectibles. This show is a can't miss. The Greater Chicago Coin, Currency, and Collectibles Show, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, February 23rd through the 25th at the Tinley Park Convention Convention Center. Admission and parking is free with your photo ID. Get more information at ChicagoCoinShow.com. That's ChicagoCoinShow.com.
There's bound to be a good reason when a local startup company becomes an industry leader in only 5 years. Chicago Cut Concrete Cutting achieved this success by offering highly skilled professional services at highly competitive prices. Business owners, project managers, field supervisors, and procurement managers from many of Chicagoland's top companies depend on Chicago Cut Concrete Cutting. They specialize in industrial, heavy highway, and commercial projects requiring concrete cutting, core drilling, as well as wall, slab, chain, wire, and ring sawing. Chicago Cut Concrete Cutting will complete your project on time and on budget. Demolition and sealing services such as silicone and hot tar are also available. For an estimate or questions about your project needs, call Chicago Cut Concrete Cutting, the cutting edge in concrete cutting today at 773-282-2CUT. That's 773-282-2288. Or visit ChicagoCutConcreteCutting.com.
Hi, I'm Todd Pals, owner of Homewood Bat Company, a top quality baseball bat made right here in the Chicagoland area. Homewood Bat Company is all about using the best in materials and craftsmanship to create a truly remarkable baseball bat. I've been a client of Precision Payroll for a number of years, and when I started the Homewood Bat Company, I wanted them on my team. From working with me when I had 1,200 employees at another company, and now with less than 50, their service has been exceptional and their value is unrivaled. You want more runs in the game? Give Homewood Bat Company a look. You need a home run for your business? Precision Payroll should be the next call you make.
Thank you, Todd. It is so cool to see you make Americana. Precision Payroll would like to go to bat for you. Call me at 630-242-1507. That's 630-242-1507. Or on the web at precisionpayroll.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Thanks. Sit, boo-boo, sit.
Dan and Amy, what?
Or nothing.
Oh, it was just having
just talking. I'm having an
stream of consciousness.
Yes.
The other point of order, just in terms of the, I know people don't necessarily follow the how these court thingies, as Lionel Hutz would say,
Well, yeah.
work.
And that's why I'm glad you're an attorney. What do you mean? Oh, yeah.
I have a law degree.
Okay, you have a law degree, so you might understand the nuance of this 29-page
well, I do.
deal better than most of us.
Oh, that's, of course. That's true.
Well, you know everything.
It's not be ridiculous. But in addition to that, just the process, right? So, again, didn't overturn the ban.
Right.
Upheld the injunction that was issued at the federal district court level. So the Trump administration has a few options here. One, appeal it to the Supreme Court. Two, go back down to, this has been remanded back to the federal district court for further proceedings because it's just an injunction litigated at that level. Or three, rewrite the order, start over. Take your calls on what you think the Trump administration should do. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro. Answer line, you will have to disclose where you received your Juris Doctorate, though, before you comment.
Oh, really?
Before you're allowed to comment.
Okay. But in that 29-page report, they almost welcomed a rewrite of the executive order. So, which is good for the Trump people, for us, for his executive order, he could rewrite it. But I don't think things are going to be as easy as Donald Trump had thought when he took office.
He doesn't need the Ninth Circuit's permission to rewrite it.
No, no.
That was the Ninth Circuit trying to feign open-mindedness in my interpretation of that portion of their opinion. But just on the underlying substance of the matter, we played Jay Johnson's comments from just a couple of years ago. Obama's,
JJ.
Yeah, JJ.
Hey, JJ, what you been doing?
He is...
so your car broke down, the thing just isn't moving.
He is not dynamite. But just the underlying national security question here. Remember, that's what this is, the important part of this. Mary Deutsch, who is actually a Wheeling resident, I believe, she had this op-ed in the Tribune, letter to the editor. She's a 25-year veteran of the State Department who worked 8 years as a refugee coordinator. She said she fully supports President Trump's executive order that temporarily halts the admissions. I don't think the action goes far enough, she said in her letter. Despite claims of enhanced vetting, she said, the reality is that it is virtually impossible to vet an individual who has no type of an official record, particularly in countries compromised by terrorism. U.S. immigration officials simply rely on the person's often rehearsed and fabricated testimony. I have personally seen this on hundreds of occasions. She goes on to say that the expanded refugee admissions program that was expanded blindly, seemingly without concern for security or whether it served the best interests of its own citizens. So that's an insider perspective who understands the operations, who's witnessed how this actually works and in kind of real world practice.
And the left keeps claiming, but the only ones coming here are women and children who need to escape persecution.
Well, I mean, just backing up what Ms. Deutsch has to say.
Yeah.
Is Syrian President Bashar al-Assad, and I understand you have to take what he says as a war. I mean, he's basically a war criminal. He's a dictator who's murdered hundreds of thousands of his own people. So I take that. But he sat down with Michael Isikoff for Yahoo News.
Did he really?
Yeah, and here's what Assad said.
Are some of these refugees, in your view, aligned with terrorists?
Oh, definitely. And,
definitely.
Definitely. You can find it on the net. The same picture that you saw them, in some cases, of course, in some instances, those terrorists in Syria holding the machine gun or killing people, they are peaceful refugees in Europe or in the West in general. Yeah, that's true.
So how many?
She sounds so...
Gay Syrian.
What? Did she say?
Gay Syrian.
He's a fabulous war criminal.
He's great.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Check this out. Once again, MyPillow sweetened the deal. In addition to the Mike Lindell 4-pack special with 40% off 2 premium MyPillows plus 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows, you also get free shipping. In fact, you'll get free shipping off any order over $100. Remember, Mike Lindell invented MyPillow for everybody with pillow-related sleep issues. You can move the patented fill to give you the exact support you need regardless of sleep position. You'll get into deep sleep faster and stay there longer. No waking up to a stiff neck or headache. They're manufactured in the U.S. and have a 10-year warranty. It's washable and dryable with a 60-day money-back guarantee. Again, for a limited time, you'll receive Mike Lindell's 4-pack special with 40% off plus free shipping. Call 1-800-489-0201 and be sure to use the promo code Amy to receive this unreal deal. If you've been putting off purchasing a MyPillow, it's time to finally start getting a great night's sleep. I do. Go to MyPillow.com or call 1-800-489-0201 and use the promo code Amy.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, Kellyanne Conway's QVC moment triggers ethical and legal concerns. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
21 now, cloudy skies. The administration mulling what to do next about President Trump's and his administration's travel ban restrictions. Democrat Senator Ben Cardin says the ruling by the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals was a good check, he believes, on the president's power.
That's important for the executive order itself, but it also shows that President Trump, who has the propensity to issue a lot of executive orders, that his power is not unlimited.
Meantime, at the White House, President Trump will host Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau on Monday.
We both got elected on commitments to strengthen the middle class and support those working hard to join it, and that's exactly what we're going to be focused on in these meetings.
Tom Price is the new Secretary of Health and Human Services, confirmed in an early morning vote today.
The ayes are 52, the nays are 47. The nomination is confirmed.
The Georgia Republican is a veteran member of the U.S. House and a surgeon by trade. U.S. Congressman Jason Chaffetz heard it from his constituents at a town hall last night.
My heart of hearts, that given the choice that was before us, by far Donald Trump was the better choice. By far.
The Republican chairman of the House Oversight Committee faced hundreds of angry voters last night who booed him in an organized fashion during a town hall meeting in suburban Salt Lake. More people than ever are giving up their U.S. citizenship. Treasury Department reports more than 5,000 renounced their citizenship last year. The numbers come from the IRS, and they say it is directly tied to the nation's tax policy over the last 8 years. 4 black people charged with a hate crime in an attack on a white, mentally disabled man that was captured by cell phone camera video, then shown live on Facebook, are scheduled to return to court today. They're expected to enter pleas in that case at a Chicago courtroom. Bail set at $150,000 for a man accused of vandalizing a Chicago Loop synagogue last weekend. Stuart Wright appeared in court yesterday. And organizers of a large ski jumping competition here in northern Illinois say that event is back on. It was postponed last month due to warm weather. As of Wednesday, the Norgie Ski Club's Ski Jumping Championship in Fox River Grove is scheduled for this coming weekend. Crystal Lake Northwest Herald tells us this morning they're actually running snow up the hill with snowmaking equipment and other vehicles to keep it packed down and icy. UIC last night closed on an 8-1 run to beat Youngstown State. Blackhawks take on the Jets, and the Bulls square off with the Suns tonight in Phoenix. The news a service of Westin Hotels and Resorts. Westin knows how disruptive travel can be to your well-being, but with rejuvenating Heavenly Beds, a nutritious Superfoods RX menu, and gear lending for when you leave your workout gear at home, Westin will help you stay in control and rise above it all. Westin. Let's rise. Learn more at westin.com. 5:35. We'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher tells the left to keep quiet.
We keep hearing about what we are. This is not who we are. This is not who we are. That's become the left's mantra all of a sudden. I love them telling us who we are. You know who we are? We're a country that elected the person you didn't want to win. Who we are is not who you wanted us to be.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Mike Rowe here for 1 hour. Today, Chuck is jogging in place to make a point about energy efficiency.
I thought I was training for a marathon.
He's been at it now for...
3 minutes.
And already he's wearing out.
I'm not.
Your heating and air conditioning systems are a lot like Chuck.
Warm yet somehow cool?
Wheezing, wasting energy, and probably headed for replacement.
You're talking about the air systems, right?
Sure, pal. Sure. Call 1 hour before it's too late.
Can you do the disclaimer for me?
Each independent franchise is licensed in its respective state or county.
Thanks.
For comfort that's unique to you, Serta iComfort Hybrid Sleep System combines advanced coils with premium gel memory foam. Find your iComfort Hybrid retailer on Serta.com. Hurry in for President's Day savings.
Say goodbye to thieves. Say hello to CudaCam by Barracuda Networks, the leader in cloud security and storage solutions. CudaCam is a complete cloud-hosted video surveillance solution that captures high-quality footage when motion is detected. Just plug in one or more CudaCam cameras with no network or camera configuration. Video evidence is automatically encrypted and stored in the Barracuda cloud for secure access from any web browser or mobile device. Visit CudaCam.com to learn why CudaCam is so easy on your wallet, yet so hard to avoid.
If you're planning for the future and focused on growing your portfolio, pay attention to this message. Are you properly positioned to take advantage of changing markets? The Investor Education Institute is conducting a 3-session course on how to spot potential wealth-building opportunities. Call 800-504-8505 right now because these courses are limited to 20 attendees per session and can sell out quickly. You'll learn about the differences between passive and proactive investment strategies, something the big Wall Street firms typically won't teach you. Most importantly, you'll have access to the cutting-edge research, market studies, and proprietary software to help you determine market trends and potential turning points. These tools are designed to help you seek out potential wealth-building opportunities, help you avoid areas of risk, and eliminate decisions based on fear and emotions. Take back control of your financial future. Call the Investor Education Institute right now at 800-504-8505 before this event sells out. That's 800-504-8505. Or register online at instituteforinvestors.com.
5:38. Let's get an update on the roads and our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Northbound I-65 remains closed from State Road 10 in the Roselawn area to State Road 2 in Lowell. There's a truck fire near mile marker 232. All northbound traffic is forced off 65 at State Road 10. The Edens is fine. The Kennedy, too, with the express lanes now open inbound. Eisenhower still okay. Inbound Stevenson delays start at Central. 37 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Lyon, 19 minutes, 95th to downtown. Bishop Ford, just a 1 or 2 minute delay from Cottage Grove to the Ryan. Tollways are good. Traffic service of Liberty Mutual. From weather to traffic and everything in between, you have enough things to worry about every day. Insurance shouldn't be one of them. You can leave worry behind when Liberty stands with you. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center, providing the right climate for business since 1935. Breezy and milder today. Periods of clouds and sun, high 42, 34 overnight, 46 tomorrow, 20 at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 6. Continuous news coverage at 560theanswer.com. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560 The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Radio Garden Sense, a show bringing your property's gardening needs alive. Radio Garden Sense, Sunday mornings at 11 on AM 560 The Answer.
You want more than just the headlines? Find out what's going on and what it means with me, Dennis Prager, this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Did Kellyanne cross the line? We'll get to that in just a minute, but we have a couple of legal scholars on the line that I want to get to before we transition to Conway.
Do not make them wait any longer.
How about Roland in Elk Grove? You're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hi.
Okay. The Department of Justice dropped the ball on the venue of appeal. Since Minnesota was a co-plaintiff in this action, Trump, and everybody knows how activist the Ninth Circuit is. They should have filed the appeal in the appeals court that covers Minnesota, because Minnesota was a co-plaintiff.
And is Minnesota in the Seventh Circuit? What's Minnesota? Or is that the?
Well, I don't know what circuit it is, but any other appeals court would have given Trump a better shake than the Ninth.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Roland. I mean, the Ninth is renowned to be the most left-wing appellate court. There's no question about that. Sam in Dayton, Ohio.
Good morning, guys. I don't have a Juris Doctorate. I have a Doctor of Chiropractic, so.
All right, we're hanging up. No, go ahead, Sam. I'm just kidding.
Anyways, the point is, what I was trying to say was that I really believe that the Justice Department dropped the ball on this, like the earlier caller said, going to the Ninth Court. I mean, that's like a banana republic court that gets overturned by a higher percentage than any other court in the country by the Supreme Court. And Trump is a very, very self-determined and impetuous man. There's no way he is gonna choose any other option than to continue fighting this. He'll fight this until he gets his way.
No, the question is how you fight it, not will he continue to fight it. You know, what's the best? Yeah, you know, you want to fight this thing on your own terms, on the best turf. I mean, that's what we're talking about with the appeal, the Ninth Circuit, and Minnesota is the Eighth Circuit, by the way, and rather than the Eighth. So that's the question: is how best to fight.
I mean, I think, like I said, rewriting the executive order, would that be seen as a defeat? I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. If he has to rewrite the executive order, make a new one, I don't know which is the cleanest option, the highest percentage or highest probability for success at this point. The rollout, I really agree with the spirit of the executive order, being the first generation of a Syrian family. I was born in the People's Republic of Chicago. In 1973, and 5 of my relatives died in Syria recently from shelling and mortar attacks. I'm a constitutional conservative through and through, and someone like me who has a stake in the game over there with my relatives would say, "You need a travel ban." Then you need a travel ban. I mean, I have discussions with liberal colleagues all the time, and I tell them everything. I give them facts. Tell them I had 5 relatives killed. It's like talking to a child.
Yeah.
They keep saying, but that's mean-spirited. I'm like, do you understand what Islamic terrorists will do to you?
Right. You haven't seen mean-spirited.
Or your life.
Yeah. Sam, well, I'm sorry what's befallen your family, and do appreciate the call, Sam. Thank you. Yeah. You want to see mean-spirited. All right, we'll get back to this topic, but I know, Amy, you are our fashion correspondent.
Oh, that's right.
Although I probably should be. Have you seen this?
Have I seen that
seen
number?
This coat I'm sporting today?
I have seen it a few times.
And
it's all right. It's very sleek. It's very chic.
You know where I got this?
Let me guess. Not TJ Maxx or Marshalls. You got it at Nordstrom.
That's right.
And you're
That's
still
right.
going to shop at Nordstrom, even though they're discontinuing Ivanka Trump's clothing line.
Correct. And I'm not going to flack for Nordstrom, though, because I don't want to run afoul of federal ethics guidelines, although that's not a problem because we do hawk stuff here. But when Kellyanne Conway does it, it is a problem.
Foreign terrorist travel.
I do find it ironic that you've got some executives all over the internet bragging about what they've done to her and her line, and yet they're using the most prominent woman in Donald Trump's, most prominent, she's his daughter, and they're using her, who's been a champion for women empowerment, women in the workplace, to get to him. So I think people can see through that.
30
Go
seconds.
buy Ivanka's stuff is what I would tell you. I hate shopping. I'm going to go get some on myself today. This is it's a wonderful line. I own some of it. I'm going to give a free commercial here. Go buy it today, everybody. You can find it online.
So she's trying to be, cute.
Well, it's her QVC moment. A testimonial. I buy her line. You should buy some. Everybody should have some Ivanka stuff.
Yeah, the problem is it's a black letter violation of federal ethics regulations, which prohibit the use of public office for private gain for any government employee in an official speech, an official capacity TV interview, or any similar communication to promote the products or services of a particular private business belonging to the employee's own family, the president's family, a friend, a campaign contributor, or anyone else. Strictly forbidden. So I know Spicer responded that she's getting counseling.
Sean, questions have been raised after Kellyanne Conway did an interview, I believe it was with Fox News this morning, where she appeared to, from the confines of the Brady briefing room, promote the products of Ivanka Trump. Do you believe that she crossed an ethical line?
Kellyanne has been counseled, and that's all we're going to go with. She's been counseled on that subject, and that's it.
Well, not only counsel, she did receive a letter from the Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington. And Jason Chaffetz also signed the letter, as well as Elijah Cummings.
When Kellyanne Conway said what she said about buying that particular product, that was wrong. I called it out. I called Elijah Cummings, who's the ranking member on my committee. We jointly, as the chairman, myself, the ranking member, Mr. Cummings, and we sent a very candid, very direct letter to the White House and to the Office of Government Ethics. They need to investigate it. What Kellyanne Conway was wrong, it should never happen again, and there should be some accountability there. Absolutely.
Yeah,
is this like a rookie mistake?
That's Chaffetz at a town hall in district, a raucous town hall which mostly filled with opposition. So he's he's taking a stand, and it's proper. What Kellyanne Conway did was wrong. She obviously didn't know or wasn't thinking about this federal ethics rule, and so she'll have to suffer whatever consequences are attached to violation of that ethics rule.
Yeah, but some on the left are demanding that she be replaced.
Yeah, that's a little hysterical.
Okay.
But, that's the left.
But, yeah, and so Kellyanne Conway was on with Fox, I don't know what reporter, some blonde on Fox News last night, responding, yes, she has been reprimanded.
We're aware of that letter, and we're reviewing that internally. I'm just really happy that I spent an awful lot of time with the President of the United States this afternoon, and that he supports me 100%.
Yeah, and her husband is a very accomplished lawyer, Kellyanne Conway, so she won't lack for good counsel. She made a mistake. She crossed a line. She'll suffer the consequences for it. And then we move on. The idea that Kellyanne Conway's flippant remark was somehow part of a conspiracy to line the pockets of Ivanka Trump is over the top. But here's the thing. The left can't help itself. We'll just say what's true, which what I just said. But they have to overstate the case. They must, because everything has to be the end of Western civilization, a sign of the apocalypse. And this is just the latest one yesterday that they clung to.
And the law is pretty vague when it comes to penalties, too. There's a law in the books, but there's nothing that outlines what should happen to her. A letter is appropriate.
A public flogging.
No, yeah, there you go, Dan.
Jim and Harvey are on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Shoe line.
Yes.
Oh, hi.
Hey, Jim.
Yeah, my question is, what's the difference between them announcing running or a designer of the evening gowns or any type of dress that the First Lady wears at a presidential gathering?
Yeah. Thanks for the call. Yeah.
That's putting money into that designer's pocket.
That's profile.
Advertising his product, and who says that he don't contribute or donate to the...
Well, yeah. Well, thanks for the call,
true.
Jim. Well,
and every time Michelle Obama wore a spectacular evening gown or dress, it would sell out like that.
yeah, I mean, people want to know. That's different, though. You know, it basically the line is crossed, as all these things are, when you do something overt and explicit. So it's not like I'm wearing a Tom Ford dress. It's I'm wearing a Tom Ford dress. Go out and buy Tom Ford products. It's the advocacy for it. It's not just the use of the product.
I knew the dress you were wearing was Tom Ford. I knew it.
That's how I roll. top shelf here. Top shelf.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
The C.H. Hansen Company stands proud as a great American hand tool manufacturer. Founder C.H. Hansen was a Chicago native, and the company remains family-owned and operated for over a century and a half. C.H. Hansen wishes to thank their employees for their service and customers for their business. C.H. Hansen offers over 2,000 products, stock and custom order in 8 product categories, including steel stamps, stencils, metal tags, barricade and flagging tapes, plus Palmgren, makers of work-holding vices and metalworking machinery. Although business, products, customers, and the industry have changed, the leadership of C.H. Hansen continues to attribute success on the founding principles of faith and quality tools. The mission of C.H. Hansen is to glorify God by the way that they serve their customers, treat employees, and help community. This is accomplished by providing valued products, exemplary customer service, and operation excellence. Visit chhansen.com or palmgren.com for more information.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I was diagnosed with congestive heart failure. I went from being able to work 14, 16 hours a day with no problem to where I could barely walk a block to the store. I went on to the phytonutrients about 6 months ago, and within a couple of months, my medical doctor had cut my prescriptions down in a little bit smaller dosage. The next time I went back a month later, I walked into the doctor's office and he says, "My gosh, what's happened to you? You don't even look like the same person." He looked at my legs and the swelling had gone down. My blood pressure was down. The venous stasis ulcers that I had had on my legs for the last 4 or 5 years because of the poor circulation were all healed, and I'm feeling far better.
The new challenge will allow you to receive 2 months of Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies free, and we'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago.
Lately, it seems you're not feeling quite right, as if your body is working against you. Dr. Amy and Associates can help create a path to achieve optimal health. Experience personalized health care for your mind, body, and spirit at a practice that blends holistic and traditional medicine.
Hi, I'm Dr. Amy Harris-Nuon of Dr. Amy and Associates. One of the services we provide, mental health and wellness. We see children, adolescents, and adults for individuals, couples, and family counseling. We even do psychiatry and medication management. All of our thoughts, feelings, and actions are a result of those conditioned ways of thinking, feeling, and being that lead us to make decisions. And so I work with individuals to help them understand and help them create a new blueprint to move them from a negative mindset to a positive mindset.
Call Dr. Amy and Associates to experience a whole person integrative approach to health and wellness. 630-980-1400 or visit dramyandassociates.com. Dr. Amy and Associates, empowering people, changing lives.
Hey, you've heard how Automated Systems excels at assisting companies with systems integration and FDA compliance, but they're also a staffing leader. They supply handpicked elite leadership, subject matter experts, and proven technical professionals in engineering, quality control, and FDA compliance to support the life sciences field in executing mission-critical projects. ASI provides highly specialized pros to deliver projects on time and budget. Don't pay a lot more to a big consulting firm, and don't trust the big temp agencies to supply the talent you need. Call Laz, my friend Laz at Automated Systems, when failure isn't an option. ASI is retained by all of Chicagoland's Fortune 500 life sciences companies, from big pharma to startups, and excel through a culture of excellence in execution. For a staffing, compliance, or automation evaluation, call Laz now at Automated Systems at 844-HIRE-ASI or visit AutomatedSYS.com. That's 844-HIRE-ASI or AutomatedSYS.com.
Hi, I'm Todd Pals, owner of Homewood Bat Company, a top-quality baseball bat made right here in the Chicagoland area. Homewood Bat Company is all about using the best in materials and craftsmanship to create a truly remarkable baseball bat. I've been a client of Precision Payroll for a number of years, and when I started the Homewood Bat Company, I wanted them on my team. From working with me when I had 1,200 employees at another company, and now with less than 50, their service has been exceptional and their value is unrivaled. You want more runs in the game? Give Homewood Bat Company a look. You need a home run for your business? Precision Payroll should be the next call you make.
Thank you, Todd. It is so cool to see you make Americana. Precision Payroll would like to go to bat for you. Call me at 630-242-1507. That's 630-242-1507. Or on the web at precisionpayroll.com.
Hi, I'm Andrea Kashaba, owner of Tulane & Associates, an accounting and tax service in Elk Grove Village. If you're a small business, feeling snubbed or overcharged by your current accounting firm, I invite you to give us a try. You shouldn't have to feel overlooked by your current tax accountant because you're a small business. Small businesses and individuals are my specialty. I will always treat you and your business with respect, and we'll take care of as much or as little as you'd like us to do. From payroll to sales taxes, financial statements to business and personal taxes, projections, or bookkeeping services. Call Tulane & Associates at 847-952-1510 or visit TulaneandAssociates.com. That's THULIN, Tulane & Associates. Get a no-cost 1-hour initial consultation that could change the way you do business. Call 847-952-1510. That's 847-952-1510.
By the way, I just want to say I am very impressed with your eye, because you caught that I'm wearing a Tom Ford dress, and normally, as you know, I wear Valentino.
Right.
Nice. Good eye.
Thank you. Hey, your company's IT partner should be more than just a place you call when you're having computer problems. Today, IT is beyond just hardware and software. IT is about a relationship between technology and the people who work with it. And that's where our good friends over there at Turnkey IT are different. They're an IT company and the best people company. They help people use IT better. Now, people need help from computers and servers to cloud-based systems, cybersecurity, that's real important, and advanced phone systems. People also need help finding out what's out there and how to implement exactly what they need, all with the support of an experienced team that resolves issues quickly. People remember the good service they receive when working with Turnkey IT. Shouldn't your business receive the same white glove treatment? See what other AM 560 listeners already know about Turnkey IT. They're local, reputable, compassionate, experienced. It's easy. Visit turnkey.pro today. Turnkey IT. It does IT better. Visit turnkey.pro now. That's turnkey.pro.
5:57, a check of the roads, Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center time. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Northbound I-65 has partially reopened between State Road 10 and State Road 2 after a truck fire. There is still a right lane closed for cleanup near mile marker 232.5. Edens is fine, the Kennedy 2. Inbound Eisenhower, delays start at Manheim. 31 minutes, Thorndale to downtown, outbound 29. Stevenson is 40 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 5 to 34. Ryan, 22 minutes, 95th to downtown. Everything else still light. Traffic service of Connect Better. When you connect better, everything comes together. Join the more than 3 million people who use GoToMeeting every month to connect with their team. Try it free at gotomeeting.com. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. Here's meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
A breezy day with winds up to 30 miles per hour, gusting to 35 miles per hour. Periods of clouds and sun with a high today 42. Then it will become rather cloudy for the night tonight with a low of 34. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
The news, a service of LifeLock, grabbing coffee or breakfast. If you swipe that card, you leave a trail of digital information thieves can use to steal your identity. Ever hear of LifeLock? Their U.S.-based team of specialists help resolve identity theft problems. At LifeLock.com now, promo code RISK, save 10%. At 5:59, here are the stories we're following on AM 560, The Answer, just ahead of Fox News. The administration is mulling what to do next about President Trump's travel restrictions after the Ninth Circuit Court rules. A Chicago panel that investigates police shootings is recommending that an officer involved in the fatal shooting of a black man during a 2011 traffic stop be fired for allegedly lying in court. A group of agencies and businesses that provide services to state government has opened a second front in the legal fight to get Illinois to pay billions in back due bills. Mayor Emanuel is promoting plans for high-speed rail service to O'Hare. Blackhawks continue their road swing tonight against the Jets. Bulls square off against the Suns. More Dan and Amy after Fox News, WIND Chicago News Time. 6.
Fox News Radio. I'm Dave Anthony. President Trump tweeted, "See you in court." But Washington State Attorney General Bob Ferguson, a Democrat, says,
"We have seen him in court twice, and we're 2 for 2.
That's right after an appeals court refused to lift the stay, blocking the president's executive order temporarily halting travel from 7 predominantly Muslim countries considered terror risks. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals said the Trump administration did not show evidence of a sufficient national security threat from the countries in question. The panel also rejected the administration's claim that the president's executive order was unreviewable. Democratic Senator Ben Cardin of Maryland.
It showed that the president's constitutional powers are not unlimited and that the checks and balances in our system will work.
The president told reporters last night the ruling was political and he vowed to fight on.
It's a decision that will win, in my opinion, very easily.
The administration could move quickly and ask for an emergency hearing from the U.S. Supreme Court. Dave.
Regional Virginia is also challenging the president's executive order in the hearing on that today. At the Senate,
the ayes are 52, the nays are 47.
And that vote was about 2 a.m., confirming Congressman Tom Price, giving him a new job as Health and Human Services Secretary.
The Democrats are just up in arms about him. They view this as a pathway to try to undo Obamacare, the confirmation of him, and that's why this is such a marquee nomination.
Fox's Chad Pergram. There are no plans to hold votes on any other Trump cabinet nominees until next week. Police in Paris believe they've thwarted another terror attack that was being planned, making 4 arrests. One of the suspects is a 16-year-old girl. They also found a lab and explosives which might have been used to carry out a suicide bombing. Schools are closed for a second day in Boston as they clean up from a big snowstorm.
We're not encouraging people to take cars. We're encouraging that it's going to be hazardous travel, so we want you to stay off the roads.
That's Mayor Marty Walsh. The storm hit from Philadelphia to Boston, dumping a foot or more of snow. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
A new president has taken office, and now he must get to work. What will President Trump accomplish in his first 100 days? What should his priorities be? Join AM 560 for an exciting evening on Wednesday, March 22nd. It's Trump, the first 100 days, featuring Sean Hannity, Mike Gallagher, Dan Proft, and Joe Walsh. See them all live at the Bolingbrook Golf Club. Tickets are on sale now at 560theanswer.com/Trump. Sponsored in part by Best Dental Group.
Valentine's Day is next week, and I have an amazing deal from Sherry's Berries. Right now, you can get their giant, juicy, gourmet dipped strawberries starting at $19.99. Listen, these berries are huge and come freshly dipped in dark, white, and milk chocolatey goodness, and covered in toppings like chocolate chips and nuts, all starting at $19.99. But hurry, this offer expires soon. The only way to get this amazing deal is to go to berries.com, click on the microphone in the upper right corner, and use secret code 6565. Berries.com, code 6565.
Guys, Valentine's Day is next week. Luckily, Pro Flowers is offering an unbelievable deal. 1 dozen red roses plus a free glass vase and chocolates for $29.99 plus shipping and handling. Order now from Pro Flowers. You pick the delivery date and it's guaranteed. But hurry, this incredible deal expires this weekend. The only way to get this amazing deal is to visit proflowers.com. Click on the blue microphone in the upper right corner and enter the secret code 3535. That's proflowers.com. Secret code 3535.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Real Estate Revealed with Randy Barcella. Heard each and every Sunday at 8 a.m. on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Amy, I might as well disclose this. I've been outed.
Okay.
I've been outed on Twitter
Uh-oh.
by our producer, Mr. David Stripling. Really, it's the picture that says 1,000 words, the classic tale, caught red-handed. It's all there. Photographic evidence that I am, admittedly, the love child of Steve Bannon and Steve Carell. Which is...
Oh, I'm retweeting that.
So I mean, of course, because as people know, I'm a white supremacist.
Right. Well, you're racist, yeah.
Right.
KKK member. Yeah.
And a 40-year-old virgin. That's the combination. Oh, boy.
Nice work, David Stripling.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's cute. It's a good photo of you. And you actually, you know what? You are the perfect combo of Bannon and Steve Carell.
I'll tell you, they produce a handsome child.
They are. They should have created earlier. Yeah.
Well, now we have to get to more important matters that now that I've offered this disclosure to factor into everything else I have to say. The Ninth Circuit decision yesterday that upholds the injunction on Trump's temporary travel ban, the early morning hour confirmation of Dr. Tom Price, a straight party line vote, of course, Price to be HHS secretary, and the calls for Kellyanne to be put in the stocks in the public square for ridicule. Much to talk about, and to help us make sense of it all, we're pleased to be joined by A.B. Stoddard, associate editor and columnist at RealClearPolitics.com, and a Fox News contributor. A.B., thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
So why don't we start with the Ninth Circuit? The Trump administration has a number of options, given the Ninth Circuit's holding. They could appeal to the Supreme Court. They could, it's been remanded back to the federal district court. They could litigate it at the district court level, or they could rewrite the order. Is there any early indication in terms of what Trump and the Justice Department may do in the case?
Well, I think Trump made it clear he wants to fight, and I think he'd like to see it go to the Supreme Court, and there are just wide ranges of opinion on. Some people are emphatic that he would lose there. Others would say it's a slam dunk, he would win. I think obviously the most prudent thing to do if he thinks there's a serious threat to our security is to write a new order, including green card holders, and fix all the problems with the first one. But he loves to fight, and he said see you in court, so we'll see what happens. I don't know if the Supreme Court will take it. I guess, I mean, I'm just not, not an expert in the courts. It will be a 4-4 decision, but it could tip, either way. I know he has broad authority, but again, there are people that say that he would lose. So I see a fight.
Yeah, I'm one of them. I mean, 4-4, and then the Ninth Circuit ruling would stand. Yeah. But I actually think he could lose 5-3 at the Supreme Court level because Anthony Kennedy is a bit of a wild card on these matters. So, I don't see a victory coming at the Supreme Court level. Which makes the how he fights such an interesting topic.
So, AB, why do you think the government failed to offer any evidence that anyone from those 7 countries perpetrated an attack on Americans? They completely left that out of the executive order.
Well, I mean, they have the criteria, which is that these 7 countries were designated by the Obama administration and Congress. The Obama administration says it was actually Congress. It doesn't matter anymore. It was the way. Obviously, the way that this was drafted and implemented is problematic. They don't have any specific credible threat to offer up, and you could argue that they're among us right now, right? You can't disprove that, right? The threat could be upon us right now, but by someone that already got in, but. If there's a way to argue. You can argue both sides. He has broad authority. He's trying to protect the refugee stream from these countries that were designated potential travel threat in the past. And then on the other side, you could say we have no specific and credible threat. We've never had, most of the terrorist attacks here at least have been from homegrown Americans, naturalized Americans, or and at the same time. That we don't have anyway, that without a specific threat, you can't you can't make the argument with a 2-year vetting process.
Yeah,
people are pouring in right now, especially during this this stay on it. People are pouring in and they're evil. And that we're in danger simply because the ban was lifted.
Yeah,
it's a hard argument to make.
Well, it seems to me that Justice Department made a big mistake here, and the Trump administration generally did. They should kind of follow their own disposition. Their disposition is the courts are politicized, and that you have courts acting as supra-judicial bodies. And I think they're right about that, generally speaking, and certainly in the Ninth Circuit. So given that belief, you should substantiate the claims you're making, and clearly, we have the intelligence community providing some information to both the Obama administration, and I guess that intelligence is still actionable and relevant today for the Trump administration. And one of the things the Seventh Circuit said about this, you haven't substantiated the threats posed by citizens from these countries coming to America. Well, there have to be intelligence estimates that provide some substantiation. That was the basis of Jay Johnson's actions, the Obama Homeland Security Secretary, and it's the basis of this executive order, at least reputedly. And so, produce, even under court seal, if it's sensitive information, produce that substantiation, and that argument dissipates.
Yeah, look, there are going to be people who see the posture of the administration and think that Trump is just choosing a fight because he doesn't like to back down. He doesn't want to redraft an order because it'll look like he lost. He wants to set up the courts, a fight all the way to the top of the court system so that if anything ever happens, he finds a way to say, it wasn't my fault. There's, obviously skepticism abounds about his intent and his posture. I think the best thing for him to do, as I said, if the courts are so politicized and we're under such a threat, is to come up with something that works.
Switching gears to some domestic policy issues, Tom Price confirmed last night, Paul Ryan saying Obamacare will be repealed this year. Trump sitting down with the airline CEOs yesterday and saying a tremendous, spectacular, phenomenal tax cut is coming. So what's the synchronicity, if you will? How is the leadership on the Hill going to move Obamacare repeal and replace while moving the tax cut plan? Which comes first? Where's the political capital going to be spent?
That's a good question, and the sequencing is very important. They have to go through Obamacare changes first because they're looking to find some money, and they're having a fight within their conference between the real fiscal purists and the flexible fiscal purists over whether or not you need to assure the covered public under this program that they're going to continue to have subsidized coverage. If you yank the subsidies to save money, the insurance companies leave. The pool's getting sicker. The coverage is getting worse. It's already in a death spiral. So if you provide the subsidies, which Republicans are loath to do, you assure the insurance companies and they stick around, and it stays a more stable system until they change it. They don't want, obviously, to provide $7 billion worth of subsidies, but that's on their shoulders right now, and they're wrangling about that. So they want to do that, and then they would have to move on to tax reform. Tax reform, as you know, is a really tough task. Their own conference, Dave Camp of Michigan, when he was on the Ways and Means Committee, wrote up tax reform. It was rejected by Speaker Boehner and the rest of the conference. There's always something wrong. As you know, there's a million lobbies against their special loopholes. This will be a tough slog. So to say that they're going to bang through these two things before the August recess, before you're in a 2018 midterm cycle, is really tough. The members are realizing that, and they're trying, like I said, to keep it quiet, but to come up with something that they can move on Obamacare that will keep it stable, because they know it's going to take a really long time, and they want it to be this year, but they're afraid it might bleed into next year. They don't want to admit that. When Trump said next year, they said, no, it'll be this year. But the fact is they don't have a replacement right now, and they're really having trouble talking about it. As one Republican member said to me on Wednesday, you can't message a product when you have no product.
Good, very good. Let's move on to Kellyanne Conway because obviously she stepped in it a little bit by having her QVC moment on Fox and Friends when she plugged Ivanka Trump's clothing line. Is it possible that she didn't read the ethic rules?
Kellyanne Conway, I've known her a long time. She's a really smart woman, and she knows better than this, and so I wonder why she did it. But there's lots of inter-Nessine, inter-West Wing politics involved in all of this at all times. There are different factions rubbing up against each other and a lot of tension. And I think that she, I don't know, wanted to stick up for Ivanka, and that would please Ivanka and please her father or something, because she knows that you don't go on TV and hawk brands out of the Oval, out of the West Wing. So that was a mistake. I think we'll all move past it because we've been told that she was quote-unquote counseled. She, as some pointed out, she might have been counseled to keep doing it, but we'll see what happens. There were, obviously all these calls to the Office of Government Ethics. People are becoming read in on this stuff, and I don't know that they're, going to relent. He has a lot of issues, including with this hotel, that will continue to be a problem for the Republican members in charge of that on the Hill. And I don't think Kellyanne is going to do it again, but I can tell you she is a very sharp person, and she knew all about that.
Yeah, I mean, a flippant comment, and she obviously made a mistake and crossed the line, and she'll be chasing for it. But I want to pick up what you said about West Wing politics, because there were some rumors out earlier this week, too, that Trump was not necessarily happy with Sean Spicer's performance as press secretary at this point, a couple of weeks in. And is there any rumblings about a shakeup in the communication team this early in?
From what I'm told, Sean is on shaky ground, and most of it is not his fault. But the leaks that you've seen about Spicer, like I said in my column yesterday, whether it's Trump, blessing the leakings or not, the knives are out, and they're all talking about how, about Trump's displeasure with Spicer over the way he dresses, the Saturday Night Live skit in which he was lampooned, portrayed by a woman. It makes him look weak. He watches his every minute of the briefings and is not happy with his performance. Never wanted to hire him, wanted a woman. Reince Priebus pushed him into it, regrets it. So this is very tough because I think with all this, how could you not be in Spicer's head at this point? So he seems, in the last few briefings, to be really under just a tremendous amount of pressure. It's hard enough to come out, and he didn't have to face a question unbelievably yesterday about what Trump's new attacks on John McCain. But there's plenty of stuff that Trump says every day that's very difficult to defend or deflect or explain. So it's a very tough job. And so while they say now they're looking for a communications director, which would be the bigger thinker, the long-term strategist on message, who would work behind the scenes, keeping Sean as space of the White House's press secretary, I'm not going to be shocked if we end up with two new people. The problem is that the communications director job is really hard to fill, and right now people are turning it down because they're seeing what's happening in the White House, and they think it's going to be a thankless job.
She is A.B. Stoddard, associate editor and columnist at RealClearPolitics.com, Fox News contributor. A.B., thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
And joined us on our Turnkey.pro answer line.
English, please.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper. Hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Amy is also on shaky ground. Amy is also on shaky ground, but you didn't hear that from me.
What's said in the break stays in the break. Okay, well, she joined us on our Turnkey.pro answer line. Today, breezy and mild with some clouds and sun, a high of 42 degrees. Your weekend looks okay. Saturday is the better day. It'll be mostly cloudy, a high of 46. And on Sunday, a little rain in the morning that could turn into snow by the afternoon, a high of 42. It's perfect for the noontime moon-in. Now let's go into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Telemonte.
I was about to have breakfast. Amy, good morning. We are back to having northbound I-65 closed between Rose Lawn and Lowell. The road did actually reopen for a little while after a truck fire near mile marker 232.5, but now once again, northbound I-65 is closed there at State Road 10. Traffic is forced off at 10. You can use 231 or 41, get up to State Road 2 and back over to northbound I-65. Everything's open southbound. The Edens is fine. The Kennedy, delays start at Cumberland, 25 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound fine at 20. The Eisenhower's 32 minutes. Thorndale to the post office, outbound 29. Stevenson, 40 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound fine at 34. Ryan is 23 minutes, 95th to downtown, I-57, BC Ford much lighter than normal with no significant delays, and the tollways are still good. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
We assess Chris Kennedy's run for governor on Sunday's Illinois Rising program, which is podcast at upstream-ideas.com, covering state politics and policy. You can also find my 60 Seconds of Sanity commentaries, 2-minute warnings from Pat Hughes about public officials about whom you need to be warned, as well as long-form interviews in our Against the Current series, Man on the Street, Follow the Logic segments, this week featuring Northwestern University students trying to follow their own logic on their views with respect to immigration policy. It's all at upstream-ideas.com. Sign up today.
My name is David Hochberg, Vice President Lending at Pearl Mortgage, and I'm here with Mark Doyle, founder of Rags of Honor. Mark, what's Rags of Honor, and how is my team at Pearl Mortgage helping?
Thanks, David. Rags of Honor is a silkscreen and apparel company I founded to hire homeless veterans. Last summer, David heard that we were struggling just a bit, and as he always does, David came up with a brilliant idea to help Rags and to do something special for his borrowers. David entered one borrower per household in the Rags of Honor Shirt of the Month Club as a way to thank them for closing their loan with Pearl Mortgage. I'll tell you that David's generosity got us right back on track, helped me make payroll, and actually hired another veteran. I can't thank David enough for all he does to help us at Rags, but also to help any veteran in need. If you want to work with a lender who supports veterans, then call David at 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. I trust David, and you can too.
Thanks, Mark. Pearl Mortgage, an equal housing lender, Illinois residential mortgage licensee, 4358, and MLS 19186.
Spark ideas for spring home improvement at the Old House New House Home Show, February 10th through 12th at Pheasant Run Resort in St. Charles. Discover the latest in kitchens, baths, basements, additions, and landscaping. Meet experts on roofing, waterproofing, window treatments, painting, tile, closets, windows, doors, flooring, and more. Discover displays from 300 award-winning contractors, creative craftsmen, and talented designers at the Old House New House Home Show. Enjoy inspiring workshops on designing your dream kitchen, beautiful bathrooms, and the Sherwin-Williams paint color forecast. Explore decorating style school with the DIY playbook and meet Mr. Fix-It, Lou Manfredini. Adult admission is $7, senior admission is $4, and parking is free. A portion of the ticket sales benefits the Habitat for Humanity. Update, renovate, and revitalize your home with the Old House New House Home Show, February 10th through 12th at Pheasant Run Resort in St. Charles. For tickets and event details, visit kennedyproductions.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
What's happening in K-12 education in America? We have Robert Blackwell, who's the parent of a New Trier High School student. He's going to join us at the top of the 8 o'clock hour to react to their I Hate White People seminar day. Virginia. Let's do a little tour of the country. Do you think it's just happening in the schools we talk about? Better pay attention to what's happening in your school. If you care about the education of your children or the education of young people as it pertains to, the future of civilization in our representative republic here. Yorktown High School in Arlington, Virginia. Is this what George Washington led the Continental Army to its decisive victory in the Revolutionary War at Yorktown? Is this what they did this all for? Yorktown High School in Arlington, Virginia, posting signs in classrooms with phrases, signs in classrooms that have phrases like, science is real, women's rights are human rights, we're all immigrants, kindness is everything, facts are not political, diversity strengthens us. Basically all of the kind of left-wing sloganeering that you see on, Prius bumper stickers and so forth, or bumper stickers on Priuses, I suppose is the proper way to say it.
Forgot to mention that some of them are in rainbow colors.
Of course they are. And parents some parents are responding to this saying, that's kind of, exactly what I said. Those are like left-wing memes. And so we want it to be a little bit broader. That's sort of political. The Yorktown High School says, no, this is not political at all. And we encourage teachers to have all kinds of signs and posters, left-wing and socialist. It's like, they have both kinds of country music, or both kinds of music, country and Western. Screwed up that line, too. All right. So that's...
Well, they should just take the signs down. I mean, the kindness one I'm okay with.
I'm opposed to kindness.
Oh, you are? Okay.
It's not everything.
But they have signs all over elementary schools. I mean, don't bully, stand up to bullies, tell the teacher if you're bullied. I always see those signs.
Join a union.
And then what is this? You are beautiful. Have you seen that? You
that
are
is...
beautiful. I mean, I know you wake up, you look in the mirror, and you say, you are beautiful every day. But there's signs all over Chicago that say you are beautiful. You notice that? And even CPS schools that have been shut down, it's on the sign on the marquee out front. You are beautiful. And it's on South Lakeshore Drive near 53rd Street.
Wait, who sings that? James Blunt?
You're beautiful. Josh Groban?
James Blunt, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, James Blunt. Thank you.
Of course you're right. You're not only beautiful, but you're right.
I got it all. Smarts and beauty.
But the signs shouldn't be political yet, so take them down.
How about this story? Buffalo mom, homeschooling mom, arrested.
Oh, really? For what? For homeschooling?
For choosing to homeschool her kids.
Uh-oh. Would she not fill out the proper paperwork or something?
No, she did. Single mom.
Of course. The only kind of mom there is.
Kiari Harris. Okay. She just started researching homeschooling last November. She says her 2 elementary school-age children weren't excelling at their failing Buffalo public school. And so she decided to homeschool. And then it got interesting.
I felt like the system was failing my children, and that's when I made the decision to homeschool.
Single mother Kiari Harris was fed up. She says her 2 elementary school-age children weren't excelling at their failing Buffalo public schools. So she filed these documents at Buffalo City Hall, informing the district of her intent to homeschool her children. According to the documents she provided to 7 Eyewitness News, they're dated December 7th, 2016. And the district says here it received her paperwork.
So she filed the paperwork. The district received the paperwork, acknowledges that. And then the normal things happen. She's confronted by Child Protective Services and taken into custody.
But she says a week later, CPS called, wondering why her kids weren't in school.
I told them that my children were homeschooled now, and I said that I can furnish the documents if they need to see it.
Harris says she went on with her homeschooling, but then, less than a month later,
I was confronted by the CPS workers and the Buffalo Police Department, and they said, well, it's too late now to show these papers. The judge has already made the order. We have to take your children. But they never did show me the order. And so since they didn't show me the order, I said, well, I'm not just going to give you my children. And from that point, they arrested me and said that I was obstructing the court order.
Harris says she hasn't seen her 2 children in 3 weeks. They've been living in a foster care institution.
I'm just a mother whose children have been torn from her arms.
How about that? By the way, that judge, I predict, will be a future appellate court justice on the Ninth Circuit. How about
that's
that?
a ball. I would be crawling out of my skin if I don't see my kids for 1 day, let alone 3 weeks.
And they're in foster care?
You know what happens in foster care.
They're wards of the state because the state made an error and a judicial order unleashes police to follow the order, and nobody can stop and think.
It's just another example of big government.
We don't have judgment. We have rules, and so the concession that it is the district's fault, not Ms. Harris's fault, that this went down as it did.
All of the documents were signed properly.
A member of the District Parent Coordinating Council says someone dropped the ball.
It should not have happened. Someone along the way, anywhere in the process after December 7th should have simply said, wait a minute, CPS should not be in here. The principal should have been circled back to and said, these students were unenrolled.
Mistakes were made, but nobody made them. And by the way, of course, your children are not your own. or it's Plato's Republic. So, we're in charge of your children in the school district. We'll tell you, Miss Harris. And that case is still pending.
Oh, my gosh. Well, hopefully she got to see her kids at least.
We'll follow that to its conclusion. Steve in Hinsdale, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, quick comment about bullying in high schools. I'm a graduate of the old lab school, Ann Arbor, Michigan, University High School, U of M, Ann Arbor. I was bullied in high school back in the 60s incessantly by the gays on the faculty there. We had all kinds of gays, and it was fine. It didn't bother me, but I was like a skinny white dude, played on the tennis team, and they were forever bothering me and wanting me to come to their parties to get initiated. My only point in this whole bullying thing in schools is, don't assume that the groups on the left are exempt from being the bullies. They were the worst bullies in Ann Arbor back in the 60s one could ever think of. Thanks a lot. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Steve. No, I don't.
Turned out fine.
I assume just the opposite. The thugs that we see that are power mad and lord over people and desire to lord over people, of course, they're the bullies / cowards from grade school and high school.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
The secret to how the rich keep getting richer is by passing down their wealth, generation to generation. If you do the same thing, you'll be leaving a legacy and be doing one of the most important things possible for the people you love. The ugly truth is, you don't have an estate plan. Everything you own, including your house, cars, investments, everything could be tied up in courts for a year or longer. It could cost your estate tens of thousands of dollars in probate and legal fees, even double government taxation. You can avoid this painful, costly mistake by contacting Tom Fortino of the Alpha Wealth Group. Tom hosts the Alpha Wealth Hour, heard Saturday mornings at 9 on AM 560, and has been a featured expert on Fox Business, Fortune, and Money Magazine. Right now, Alpha Wealth Group is offering you a free estate planning kit if you call 630-873-6326. That's 630-873-6326. 630-873-6326. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Wealth Advisors, Inc.
Hey, there's a lot of talk right now about school choice. Well, if you've always felt like you didn't really have a choice to send your kids to a private school because of the cost, then listen up. We want to remind you, maybe tell you about for the first time, halfpriceschools.com. At halfpriceschools.com, you can find a local private school from all over the Chicagoland area. Schools that are offering vouchers for a full year of tuition at half the price. There's no catch. Find a school near you, purchase the tuition voucher, and prepare to send your child off to school. It's that simple. Halfpriceschools.com has schools located all over Chicago and Northwest Indiana, places like Arlington Heights, LaSalle, Peru, Kankakee, Aurora, Antioch, just to name a few. So make private schools a real option for your family for the first time this year, but do not wait. These vouchers will sell out. Visit halfpriceschools.com today. That's halfpriceschools.com. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer,
we have an update on our exclusive story about voter fraud in Illinois at 6:36.
And later, why one state is trying to ban the decline of cats. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. Good morning, everyone. A Danish prosecutor says this morning a 16-year-old girl is being formally charged with planning bomb attacks against schools in Denmark. This was from an arrest in 2016, but because the case is coming up in court, details are being released today. The prosecutor says the teen is accused of having made all the preparations to make the bombs using an explosive known as TATP. Her targets were large schools west of Copenhagen and a Jewish school in the capital. This morning was also revealed by defense attorneys that the girl who was arrested in January of 2016 had twice been in Syria. 2 oil workers are out of the hospital, a third unaccounted for after a pipeline exploded in southern Louisiana. 60 homes have been evacuated. The administration mulling what to do next about President Donald Trump's executive orders and travel restrictions on 7 mostly Muslim-majority countries. A 3-judge panel of the Ninth Circuit ruled unanimously yesterday against lifting the temporary restraining order on that ban. Tom Price is the new U.S. Secretary of Health and Human Services. over the opposition of Democratic Senator Jack Reed of Rhode Island.
Congressman Price has demonstrated over the last decade in Congress that he is unwilling or unfit or both to protect these critical health programs.
Leaders of the House Oversight Committee last night say one of the president's top aides may have broken ethics laws. The violation came during a television interview when Kellyanne Conway urged people to buy Ivanka Trump's brand. White House spokesman Sean Spicer.
She's been counseled on that subject, and that's it.
Utah Congressman Jason Chaffetz demanded the Office of Government Ethics review a look at Conway's statements and report on what disciplinary action is warranted. Mayor Emanuel promoting plans for high-speed rail to O'Hare, the rail line designed to connect the loop with O'Hare in the model of high-speed rail lines in Asia and Europe. A state disaster emergency is being declared over East Chicago's lead contamination 2 months after then Indiana Governor Mike Pence rejected that city's request. Republican Governor Eric Holcomb said the 30-day emergency declaration will focus on finding new homes for about 100 residents. Blackhawks take on the Jets tonight. Bulls square off against the Suns. The news, a service of LifeLock. Grabbing coffee or breakfast? If you swipe your card, you leave a trail of digital information thieves can use to steal your identity. Ever hear of LifeLock? Their U.S.-based team of specialists help resolve identity theft issues. Go to lifelock.com now. Promo code RISK. Save 10%. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager clears up Trump's immigration policy.
These made-to-order mobs, they act as if there is no crisis of Islamic terror in the world. The language used is so over-the-top. Muslim ban. It's not a Muslim ban. It is a 120-day temporary hold on people coming in from 7 different countries that are Muslim majority.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, best beans, best roast, best coffee.
Highland Park Ford Lincoln's in the house. Here's Alan Marty.
For 30 years, we've been making people happy with incredible deals and service.
We're the best Ford Lincoln dealers in town.
Because making people happy makes us happy.
No doubt. This is one happy place.
Heck, we just break into dance all the time.
We don't break into dance at the dealership.
Sure we do.
No, we really don't.
We could. Come on, Marty, dance with me.
The Highland Park Ford Lincoln Superstore. Call 1-800-984-9000 or go to alanmarty.com.
Admit it.
Okay, you're a lovely dancer.
Thank you. This is Alan Marty. Deal with us.
Are you worried how the election, global events, and the current economy might affect your retirement? Listen to Grow My Retirement, Saturdays at 2 with Bill Geiger, Chicago's retirement planning advisor. Bill helps you translate complex retirement issues into easy-to-understand steps to help you create a retirement income you can't outlive.
The important thing of this show is not when the next downturn is coming, but to have your portfolio and your retirement plan ready for it.
Grow My Retirement with Bill Geiger, Saturday at 2 p.m. on AM 560. The Answer.
It is 6:37. Let's get an update on the roads now. In our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. Northbound I-65 is closed from State Road 10 to State Road 2 after a truck fire. This involved a semi which was hauling cereal, we're told. And once again, all traffic on northbound 65 is forced off at State Road 10. Tri-State Tollway northbound, stop and go. The 83rd Street toll to 75th Street. There's a car fire there in the left lane. Eden's 22 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 19. The Kennedy, now 34 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 22. The Eisenhower's a 38-minute drive from Thorndale to the post office, outbound 31. Stevenson, 49 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 22 minutes, 95th to downtown. Traffic service of Staples. Filing your own taxes this year, Staples helps you be accountable with everything you need for tax season for less, with storage boxes and filing supplies to software like QuickBooks and TurboTax. And right now, get up to $15 off when you buy TurboTax. In-store only, ends 4/1/17. Staples, make more happen. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center, providing the right climate for business since 1935. Breezy and milder today. Clouds and sun mixed, high 42, a low of 34 overnight. Currently 21. Next news at 7. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the IRS Radio Hour with attorney Stephen Leahy every Sunday afternoon at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
Your money. Find out how to keep more of it and live debt-free. Tonight on The Dave Ramsey Show, starting at 7 on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Is voter fraud or the potential for it, is that a real thing? Or is that just right-wing fantasy, a cover story for our secret plan to suppress votes? That's a pretty good, yes, Lord of the Rings impersonation, Gollum impersonation you've got going on. Okay, that's enough. Let's grow up. God's sake, we're talking about voter fraud.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
No.
All right, so here's the thing.
It's a very serious.
Earlier this week, Amy, you'll recall,
I know.
we discussed the story. Now, this is in the Sangamon Sun, SangamonSun.com.
It's one of your side hustles.
One of my papers, that's correct.
I like side hustle better.
Side hustle, okay.
It's your side hustle. You got get your side hustle on, says the commercial.
You're so street.
You don't have to drive Uber. You can have all newspapers.
You're so Gen Z. So the story earlier this week, an analysis that Sangamon Sun did of Illinois State Board of Elections records. Okay, so this is their records. Looked at the data. Found 50,000 duplicate voter registration records representing Illinois residents registered multiple times. The data, pulled again from the Illinois State Board of Elections voter registration file, shows that there were 49,772 records which showed voters with the same first name, same middle name, same last name, same birth date, and registrations at two different addresses or multiple registrations at the same address, and importantly, this is important, with two unique state-issued voter ID numbers. Two separate voter ID numbers. That's 49,772 records representing 24,843 unique voters, including one person registered 4 times, 84 people registered 3 times in that universe. Cook County, the largest number of duplicated registration records, of course, by a wide margin. 27,713 duplicated registration records in Cook County. The next closest was Will County at a little over 2,900. All right? So that's now this. I'm not accusing anybody of voter fraud. I'm saying you have the potential for voter fraud. And isn't that a concern if you have the potential for voter fraud with 24,843 unique voters that have multiple voter IDs, unique voter IDs? Thus, you have a potential that people could vote more than once. So we continue digging.
I know someone who
Go ahead.
Well, they own 2 houses and they voted twice. They went to one precinct to vote once, and then later in the afternoon went to the other precinct.
Do you want to give me that person's name? Because I'll have him or her picked up right now. That's a felony.
I know. I let them know, Dan, it was a felony.
You are a duty-bound to report. You have reporting responsibilities as a radio talk show host to turn that person in. That's black-letter law.
Okay.
Just making that up. But
what are the penalties if I don't?
Well,
a trip to see Debbie Lidwin.
Maybe
I have to go into Jeff Reisman's office.
It's even worse than that.
Phil Boyce.
My disappointment.
Oh. No, I let them know that it was a felony, and I said, actually, if you do anything like that again, don't tell me. Well, I don't want to know.
It's just not only is it a felony, what does it do? It robs someone else of their vote. That's what it really does.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we're talking about with voter fraud, aren't we? Mm-hmm. So we looked at the 2014 general election, and we're in process of looking at the 2016 general election, so we'll have another story on this topic. But 2014 general election found 68 people in Illinois who voted twice for a total of 136 votes. Again, this is Illinois State Board of Elections records. So the 24,758 registered, 24,843 unique voters with more than one voter ID. Okay. Of those, 68 voted twice for a total of 136 votes. So it's rare. It's relatively rare. But that doesn't make it okay. That doesn't make it not an issue. And so it'll happen only 68 times out of 24,843 individuals. But what about the potential for it to happen? Does that matter at all? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Now, the other thing here is you have had races, state legislative races even, that have been decided by a handful of votes. So 68 people voting a second time may not sound like, oh, it's a big deal. It's a very, very small percentage of the overall number of people registered more than once. But it can impact an election. But more importantly, that's 68 Illinois residents who were disenfranchised. So I look at that, say somebody took away my vote, potentially.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, anybody can make that claim. Somebody took away my vote. I've got a problem with that. I value my vote. Do you value your vote? Is 68 people that voted twice? Maybe this is a record-keeping error. I'm not accusing them of voter fraud. We're only accusing Amy's friends of voter fraud. But
one friend.
One friend. But
who I'm not really friends with them.
So just as there may be record-keeping problems at the Illinois State Board of Elections with the number of people with multiple unique voter IDs, almost 25,000 of those people, there could be, misidentification of people, these 68 people who voted twice. Maybe they didn't vote twice. I don't know. We don't know. But it demands a look into, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. Because if you had 68 people that committed a felony voter fraud, then those 68 people should be identified and prosecuted. And if you, conversely, if you had nobody commit voter fraud, but they're recorded as having voted twice, then that should be something of real concern for the Illinois State Board of Elections in terms of the quality of their record keeping and thus the reliability of our elections. No matter how you cut this, there are important issues raised that demand a look into. By the way, of the 136 votes cast, the 136 total votes by 68 people who voted more than once. This is 2014 general election again, just to repeat. 61 were cast in Cook County, Will County 8, DuPage County 7, Winnebago County 6, McHenry 4, St. Clair 3. So, I mean, what do you think? Is this just some right winger love child of Steve Bannon and Steve Carell howling at the moon, or is this a real issue? I think it's a real issue.
But isn't there legal actions you can take since you know those people?
Well, there
you
is.
know where they live. Duplicate, registrations in the same house. Can't they go and get them? I mean, is there voter fraud police out there, or who's in charge of that?
My plucky little band of reporters was able to do this digging and identify this. All the big outlets, the big TV stations in Chicago, the dailies, the regional papers, where are they on this issue? Oh, I mean, they just shrug their shoulders because they don't want this to be true. This is not an issue that advances the interests of the left to have some, well, not some, but have the highest possible integrity attached to our elections.
They probably don't because the people are voting twice for them.
5, and this
is on my part.
And I mean, and this is 5 votes cast in Kankakee County in the 2014 general election were duplicates. 5 votes. That's not, it's a small number, but okay. But leading up to the 2016 presidential election last year, Kankakee County State's Attorney's Office did investigate 3 complaints from individuals who claimed they'd been offered bribes in exchange for votes. And I'd say if it happens once, or if it happens 68 times, or if it happens 6,800 times, there's a principle here. And I go back to say where I think this conversation should start, which is somebody, by committing fraud, took away my vote. And I got a problem with that. Cassandra in Montrose Beach, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning. I think it's an issue no matter which side you're on, because until you can tell me how many motor voters have been registered that are non-citizens, I have a problem. Number 2, until it's a crime for a citizen to register a non-citizen, this will continue. You see, it's only a crime for the non-citizen to register. It isn't a crime for the citizen to register that person.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Cassandra. It's a fair issue to raise as well for exploration. Mike on the north side.
Good morning, kids. I think this is a Republican problem. I don't know what you're doing, because they use...
Mike, Tiny Dancer is interfering with your phone communications.
More than one.
Oh, yeah, Mike. Try to call back, maybe.
Sorry, Mike.
It's not that we don't love you. It's just that we can't understand a word you're saying.
Dan on the northwest side.
Yeah, well, if they don't care about the murder rate in Chicago, why the hell would they care about the voting?
Okay, thanks, Dan. George and Moni.
Hey, Dan, if they prosecute these guys who voted more than twice, do they lose their state pension?
Okay, George, thanks for the call.
really
Candace
good.
and DuPage.
Thanks for all the research you're doing on this, Dan. I think from living on the South Side, the biggest problem is intimidation. And let me give you an example. When I went to go vote at a few high-rise buildings, they have these kids who are very intimidating on the outside of the building, handing out postcards, whatever, yelling. They're very thuggish. And are you going to tell me that people who go to church with each other, know each other, are going to feel comfortable polling a Republican ballot? Not only that, once I did ask for a Republican ballot to vote for Romney, and I got this kind of attitude.
Yeah.
So don't tell me that doesn't intimidate people. It does.
All right, thanks, Candace. Appreciate it. Tim in Woodstock.
Hey, good day, guys. Love the show. I just want to let you know, I'm an SUIU guy here, and my union, if you click onto their website, has a spot for immigration and also voter registration. Isn't that interesting? So my union dues go to help illegal aliens here, I guess.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Tim. Appreciate that insight as a member of SEIU, the Purple People Beaters. Marco in North Riverside.
That's good.
I was once investigated for voter fraud as a Republican after the gubernatorial election a few years back when I went to a voting place and the foreman had no idea what was going on. I signed in, but then they realized that I wasn't able to vote there. I had just moved to Woodridge, so they said I could only vote in the local election and not to the gubernatorial election. I said, well, I'm new to the neighborhood. I don't know anything about the locals. I've been living in the state for my whole life. I'd like to vote for the governor. They said, no, you have to go back to your original place of voting. So later on in the evening after you go to work, I go all the way out to Romeoville and go to vote. And then they say, okay, you can vote in the gubernatorial, but not the local. That's the only place I casted a vote. Several months later, the DuPage district attorney gave me a call, came all the way to my work down in the Loop because I had signed in to vote in Woodridge in DuPage County, but casted a vote in Will County. But luckily, the charges were dropped because they said you'll have to go and find the votes. I only voted once at one place, and that was okay. So they do investigate it, but apparently only for Republicans.
Yeah. Thanks for the call, Marco. Appreciate it.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Today we're going to have breezy, mild conditions with some sun and clouds, a high of 42 degrees. And your weekend looks pretty good. Saturday's the better day. It'll be mostly cloudy, a high of 46. And on Sunday, a little rain in the morning. And for the noon moon in at Trump Tower, that rain's going to turn into snow. And we're going to have a high of 42 degrees. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Well, we got a couple of vehicle fires this morning, Amy, causing problems. Northbound I-65 is closed from State Road 10 to State Road 2 in Lowell to clean up an earlier truck fire, mile marker 232. And the northbound Tri-State with big delays from Southwest Highway to 75th Street, where there's a car fire blocking the left lane. West side of Chicago, southbound Damon is closed from Washington to Warren near the United Center. There's a rollover crash, car on the sidewalk. Eden's 23 minutes, Lake Hook to Montrose, outbound 20. The Kennedy, 34 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 24. The Eisenhower's 40 minutes, Thorndale to downtown, outbound just 31. Stevenson, 48 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. The Ryan, 24 minutes, 95th to downtown. Other than that Tri-State car fire, the tollways are much lighter than normal. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
I'm Lou Dobbs. Economic reports out today. McDonald's testing a crab sandwich in the San Francisco area, and General Motors recalling older sports cars. Those stories next.
2017 is the year of Trump, and markets are rising to all-time highs. But economic uncertainty may be greater than after any election in our lifetime. And as retirement approaches, there's little time to recover losses. You need to hedge against uncertainty. That means transferring part of your retirement to physical gold and silver, stored where you can actually hold it in your hands and get it fast in any disaster. It's the perfect time to buy. Prices are low and expected to climb. Make Augusta Precious Metals your personal gold and silver provider. Augusta cares for your financial position and helps you make good decisions. And they're A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. Get Augusta's free gold and silver IRA guide. What you learn could help you weather any economic storm. No obligation. Just call 855-222-6993. That's 855-222-6993. 855-222-6993. Trust Augusta. Protect your retirement today.
Two reports that could move the markets today. We have the latest reading on consumer confidence and import and export prices, and General Motors recalling more than 98,000 older sports cars in this country and Canada. GM cites a faulty sensor that can disable the front passenger airbag. GM recalling the 2006 to 2010 Pontiac Solstice and the 2007 to 2010 Saturn Sky. You may soon be able to have a crab sandwich at McDonald's in the San Francisco Bay Area. The fast food giant testing the sandwich in 4 restaurants in San Jose. If the feedback is positive, McDonald's will expand the restaurants in which you can have a crab sandwich. Please join us for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Hey, check this out. Once again, MyPillow sweetened the deal. In addition to Mike Lindell's 4-pack special with 40% off 2 premium MyPillows plus 2 Go Anywhere pillows, you also get free shipping. In fact, you'll get free shipping off any order over $100. Remember, Mike Lindell invented MyPillow for everybody with pillow-related sleep issues. You can move the patented fill to give you the exact support you need regardless of sleep position. You'll get into deep sleep faster and stay there longer. No waking up to a stiff neck or headache. Now, they're made in the US of A and have a 10-year warranty. It's washable too, dryable, with a 60-day full money-back guarantee. Again, for a limited time, you'll receive Mike Lindell's 4-pack special with 40% off plus free shipping. So call 1-800-489-0201. Use the promo code Amy to receive this unreal deal. Now, if you've been putting off purchasing a MyPillow, it's time to finally start getting a great night's sleep. I know I do. Go to MyPillow.com, promo code Amy, or call 1-800-489-0201.
Get ready, Chicagoland. Rid yourself of those cold weather winter blues and get to the 6th Annual Tinley Park Golf Expo at the Tinley Park Convention Center February 10th through 12th. This event is a golf enthusiast's dream come true and will warm you up fast with great opportunities to get your golf game ready for spring. Don't worry, it'll be here before you know it. Check out amazing deals on golf courses, resorts, equipment, and apparel, and demo the newest equipment from golf's major manufacturers. Plus, get free lessons from local PGA professionals. Try your luck with daily contests and skills challenges for fantastic prizes. Plus, enter to win the grand prize, your very own Pro X Plus indoor golf simulator. Mark your calendars for Friday through Sunday, February 10th through 12th, the 6th Annual Tinley Park Golf Expo at the Tinley Park Convention Center in Tinley Park. For more information, visit northernillinoisgolfexpo.com. That's northernillinoisgolfexpo.com. Tickets are available in advance on the website, northernillinoisgolfexpo.com.
I'm 41 years old, father of 3. I got into running and triathlon. I even ran the Boston Marathon, but I injured my hip.
A patient from Midwest Orthopedics at Rush and his surgeon tell his story.
An MRI revealed that Matt had hip impingement, so we offered him a minimally invasive surgery.
The great thing about Dr. No, he only does hips, so he is extremely specialized. He has it down to a science. And it's well known that Rush really does have the best orthopedic program in the area.
The orthopedic program at Rush is ranked number 4 in the country by U.S. News and World Report.
To make an appointment at one of 5 locations, call 877-MD-BONES.
Once I started running, I regained my form really quickly. I signed up for a half Ironman, and I completed it within just a few minutes of my personal best time.
To be able to go back into a half Ironman pretty close to the same level that he was doing before. It's actually pretty remarkable.
Let us show you how orthopedic care should be at rushortho.com.
Your company's critical projects involve improving processes, evolving business models, launching products, and realizing strategic imperatives. Integrated project management's core competency is execution, using process, leadership, and discipline to assure successful, sustainable results. Since 1988, IPM has led nearly 4,000 initiatives alongside our clients in a structured, engaging, and respectful manner. IPM's 7 nationwide offices employ consultants who excel at providing project management consulting to America's most successful firms. Their outstanding leaders transform strategy into reality, providing clients with a competitive advantage. IPM has been recognized as a top small and medium workplace and great workplace in consulting and professional services by Fortune magazine and one of the 25 best small companies by Forbes magazine. When your company needs help executing critical projects, visit IPMCinc.com or call Integrated Project Management's Chicago office at 630-789-8600. That's IPMCinc.com. Nothing matters if you can't execute.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Was the Ninth Circuit's decision law or politics? We'll ask former U.S. Attorney General Alberto Gonzales at 7:07.
And one bus driver's diaper may be full. We'll explain.
Who's got a full diaper? Who needs a change?
First, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, IPRA recommends the firing of a Chicago police officer. We'll tell you why. Some other Chicago police officers have been cleared of racial profiling in the stop of Congressman Bobby Rush. Governor says he'll veto a Democratic plan to pay state workers. Costs going up at SIU Carbondale. On your sports docket tonight, Hawks and Jets, Bulls squaring off with the Suns on a breezy and milder day. WIND Chicago News Times, 7 o'clock.
Fox News Radio. I'm Dave Anthony. President Trump says he's going to win, vowing to fight an appeals court ruling upholding a judge's stay on his executive order on travel.
It's a political decision, and we're going to see them in court, and I look forward to doing it.
The president talked to reporters right after saying America's security is at stake. His order would halt travel from 7 countries considered terrorists. But the court decided the argument from 2 states that the president's ban targets Muslims presented significant constitutional questions. Democratic Senator Cory Booker says the system worked.
It's a system of checks and balances, and I'm very proud to see that the court has made it clear the president is not above the law.
Later today, President Trump will host Japan's prime minister at the White House. Security will be a topic, and trade after the president pulled out of the TPP trade deal. Senators were up at the wee hours this morning confirming another Trump nominee. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, the party line vote confirming Tom Price to lead the Health and Human Services Department came around 2 a.m. over strong objections from Democrats who are concerned about the future of Obamacare. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer.
Confirming Rep. Price to be Secretary of HHS is akin to asking the fox to guard the hen house.
Price will oversee the administration's effort to repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act. Republicans argue that Price, an orthopedic surgeon, is capable and well prepared for the job. Dave.
Racial arrests in France, where it's believed another terror attack might have been prevented.
Prosecutors say the 4 suspects were arrested near Montpellier in the south of France. One of them is a 16-year-old girl. Police also seized explosives and bomb-making ingredients in a makeshift lab. The explosive was similar to a type used in attacks in Paris and Brussels.
Fox's Kitty Logan on our European bureau. The Army's trying to solve a mystery. How did one of its drones that went missing more than a week ago turn up in a tree in the mountains west of Denver, 600 miles from Fort Huachuca? That drone only has a flying range of about 80 miles. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
23 degrees, cloudy skies, wind south at 11. 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning, I'm Mike Scott. 9 are without a home following a 3-alarm blaze early this morning that destroyed an apartment building in Oak Park. Dozens of firefighters called out to the 300 block of Washington Boulevard. No injuries reported. The building is across the street from the Percy Julian Middle School. 4 black people charged with hate crimes in an attack on a white mentally disabled man that was captured by a cell phone camera are scheduled to return to court. The 4 whose hearings are scheduled for today here in Chicago have been in custody since January. Chicago panel that investigates police shootings and recommendations in an officer-involved fatal shooting of a black man in a 2011 traffic stop say he should be fired for allegedly lying in court. The Independent Police Review Authority found discrepancies between Officer Raul Mosqueda's accounts of the events and a police dispatch recording. 2 Chicago police officers will not be punished after Congressman Bobby Rush accused them of racial profiling during a traffic stop last summer.
I've never been so embarrassed in my life.
Well, you shouldn't be embarrassed.
Don't tell me what I shouldn't be.
Okay.
I know what I am, what I am.
The department releasing a video of the officers pulling over Rush on the south side because his license plates were registered to a different vehicle. Governor Rauner pledging to fight any effort to cut off pay to state workers during the ongoing budget crisis. AM 560's David Stewart on the latest from Springfield.
In a video sent to state workers, Governor Rauner said he'd veto a bill supported by House Speaker Michael Madigan that would shut down the government and stop workers' pay if there's no budget by the end of June.
Don't be fooled. It's not a solution. It's a crisis showdown set for June 30th, when the Speaker will use the leverage of a forced shutdown to finally get the massive tax hike he recommended in December 2015.
Rauner says he supports a Republican bill that would allow paychecks to keep coming even without a budget. David Stewart, NBC News Radio, Chicago.
And Mayor Emanuel is promoting plans for high-speed rail to O'Hare. The mayor saying yesterday the city is going to embark on that project and would like to begin construction within 3 years. Blackhawks take on the Jets tonight. Bulls square off against the Suns in Phoenix. The news, a service of Staples. Filing your own taxes this year? Staples helps you be accountable with everything you need for tax season for less. Storage boxes, filing supplies to software like QuickBooks and TurboTax. And right now, get up to $15 off when you buy TurboTax. In-store only, ends 4/1/17. Staples, make more happen. 7:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
I have actually been on Balance of Nature for a year now. I have MS, and I recently had an MRI. This is the first year that I've had a stable MRI, so I'm thrilled. When I have an MRI with MS, usually there are glowing spots that come through, which is damage on the nerves in my brain and my spinal cord, and when they're glowing, it means they're active. And then my last MRI, they pulled it up, and I honestly couldn't believe that it was my MRI. There was nothing glowing. And in fact, the dark spots were shrinking. They were healing. And the doctor actually said to me, I think we're in remission. I was so happy. I had no idea that that could be my reality.
The new challenge will allow you to receive 2 months of Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies free. And we'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago.
Valentine's Day is next week, and I have an amazing deal from Sherry's Berries. Right now, you can get their giant, juicy, gourmet dipped strawberries starting at $19.99. Listen, these berries are huge and come freshly dipped in dark, white, and milk chocolatey goodness, and covered in toppings like chocolate chips and nuts, all starting at $19.99. But hurry, this offer expires soon. The only way to get this amazing deal is to go to berries.com, click on the microphone in the upper right corner, and use secret code 6565. Berries.com, code 6565.
Guys, Valentine's Day is next week. Luckily, Pro Flowers is offering an unbelievable deal. 1 dozen red roses plus a free glass vase and chocolates for $29.99 plus shipping and handling. Order now from Pro Flowers. You pick the delivery date and it's guaranteed. But hurry, this incredible deal expires this weekend. The only way to get this amazing deal is to visit proflowers.com. Click on the blue microphone in the upper right corner and enter the secret code 3535. That's proflowers.com. Secret code 3535.
7:06. Check of the roads in our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Northbound I-65 remains closed from State Road 10 in the Roselawn area to State Road 2 after a truck fire. All northbound traffic is diverted onto State Road 10. Northbound Tri-State's a big jam now. Southwest Highway to 75th. The left lane is blocked to clean up a car fire. On the Edens inbound, delays start around Peterson. 22 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 20. Got Kennedy, delays start at Cumberland. It's 38 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 16 from Montrose, 15 in the Express. Outbound 26 minutes to the airport. The Eisenhower, 42 minutes. Thorndale to downtown, outbound 31. Stevenson, 48 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. It's fine outbound. Ryan, 24 minutes, 95th to downtown. Reagan Tollway westbound. Though Yackley before Naperville Road, there's police activity on the left shoulder. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
At 7:07, Time to check the climate of your business with aircomfort.com, providing the right climate for business since 1935. And time to check your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the aircomfort.com Weather Center, here's meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Today, breezy and milder with periods of clouds and sun. High 42. Tonight, rather cloudy, low 34. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy with a high 46. Overcast with a little rain tomorrow night with a low 33. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Right now, 22 at O'Hare, 22 along the lakefront. Your next news update is at 7:30, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is powered by CharlesEquipment.com, keeping the lights on through winter's dark storms.
Good morning. Welcome to your Friday morning briefing. Here's what you need to know to start your day.
Go buy Ivanka's stuff is what I would tell. I hate shopping. I'm going to go get some on myself today.
Kellyanne has been counseled, and that's all we're going to go with.
Are some of these refugees, in your view, aligned with terrorists?
Oh, definitely. And,
definitely.
Definitely. You can find it on the net.
So you believe the judge has made a...
We have a situation where the security of our country is at stake. And it's a very, very serious situation. So we look forward, as I just said, to seeing them in court.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So the Ninth Circuit upheld the federal district court injunction against the implementation of Trump's executive order, which temporarily bans travel to individuals from the 7 countries included in that order. A political decision or a legal decision? Before we get to that, just a little reminder, the genesis of the 7 countries that were listed in Trump's executive order. This, President Obama's Homeland Security Secretary Jay Johnson testifying before the House Homeland Security Committee in July of 2014. Take a listen.
Foreign terrorist travel, the prospect of foreign terrorist travel to our homeland keeps me up at night. Of course, cybersecurity, aviation security, border security, the prospect of what we refer to as special interest aliens arriving on our southern border are things that we should all be focused on and dedicated to addressing. We have enhanced the security around our visa waiver program with the help of this Congress last year. We now have the ability to deny visa-free travel to those who have traveled to Syria, Sudan, Iraq, Iran, and as a result of the 3 new countries I added to the list because of this new legislative authority, Yemen, Somalia,
5, 6,
and
7.
Libya.
Yep, that's it. Those are the 7. Yeah, he's got them all there listed. And that was Jay Johnson taking credit for what the administration was doing to restrict the travel of individuals from those countries based on the intelligence information that ostensibly was gathered that led him and the Obama administration to that decision. So the Ninth Circuit's decision, the federal district court's enjoining Trump and the Trump administration, and then the Ninth Circuit affirming that injunction, was not received happily by President Trump.
We'll see them in court. It's a political decision, and we're going to see them in court, and I look forward to doing it.
So you believe the judge has made a political
We have
decision?
a situation where the security of our country is at stake, and it's a very, very serious situation. So we look forward, as I just said, to seeing them in court.
Sir,
do you think this has undercut the early days of your presidency? This is such a core issue.
This is just a decision that came down, but we're going to win the case.
And
he also tweeted, "See you in court."
Right.
The security of our nation is at stake, all in capital letters, exclamation mark.
To his point about it being political, I thought the response from Washington Governor Jay Inslee, who's a Democrat,
Yeah.
was really interesting. In,
Oh,
in response to...
You don't need to remind me that he's a Democrat when
Yes.
you hear what he did.
Well, in response to the tweet that you just mentioned, Governor Inslee said, "Mr. President, we just saw you in court and we beat you." So we beat you. So this is about like politics. You're treating this like a sporting event. It's not about whether the law was properly upheld, the Constitution was properly respected, or not. I find that "we beat you" disposition particularly telling. For more on this, let's get some real legal expertise here. We're pleased to be joined again by our friend Alberto Gonzalez, former United States Attorney General, now the Dean of the Belmont University School of Law. Belmont University, Amy, the Bruins.
Oh, that's right.
And he's also the author of the book True Faith and Allegiance. Attorney General Gonzalez, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Good morning. How cold is it there in Chicago?
It's actually not too bad. You know, this global warming thing we're starting to work out for us. So it's like 45 degrees.
Kids always say, I love global warming.
Congratulations.
So what's your legal opinion on the opinion rendered by the Ninth Circuit?
Well, as a lawyer, if I were in the White House advising the president, obviously you prefer to win these kinds of things because there are a lot of political and sort of public relations implications to an adverse decision. But I wouldn't lose sleep over it. It is simply one very early step, and it's one hurdle. And so, there's still a long way to go. The thing I'm curious about, though, the president has said this is about national security and protecting our country. And this is about to give us time to put in place additional vetting with respect to these individual countries. Nothing prevents the president from simply revising the executive order. I mean, I think there may be things that he could do on his own that actually may moot out the case. And these will represent steps forward in protecting our country. And so there are things that he might be able to do by simply revising the order and protect our country and perhaps move out the case, as I just said. In terms of what's going to actually happen next, I don't know. I don't know what direction he's going to give the Department of Justice, what General Sessions wants to do. But obviously, there's a lot of options that are possible, and we'll just see what happens.
Well, so if you're there, what's your advice and counsel if you were in that position? Because as you're sort of indicating, he could rewrite the order, moot out the case. He could litigate it at the federal district court level where it's been remanded, or he could appeal it to the Supreme Court.
He could do all of that. At the same time that he's in the courts, he could put in place measures that would protect America, which, quite frankly, I think that's the number one priority. And so, as the lawyers are wrestling with these somewhat difficult legal issues, I'm hoping that his policy teams are looking at what can we do to keep America safe. But we already have pretty strong vetting with respect to these countries. Are there additional things that we can do? I'm hopeful that that's what the administration is doing. They're approaching this on two fronts, both the legal fronts in the court, and then also, practically speaking, what is the right policy to further protect America?
So what revisions to the order should be made? Should he include people with green cards, people with student visas? I mean, what could he do differently if he decides to refile or rewrite an executive order?
Well, that would be one thing. That is one of the issues is that, historically, people that are not U.S. persons and that have no ties whatsoever to the United States generally they enjoy less constitutional protections. Historically, that's been true in our courts. The way this order was initially drafted, though, it did affect people who have some kind of legal basis of entry into the United States. And so there are things that he can do, I think, that make the orders more defensible. One of the things I worry about, and I think I've commented on this before, is in advising the president, I would feel better in terms of this order, in defending this order, if we had some serious threats, reported threats of attacks coming from individuals from these countries, or in fact someone from one of these countries had engaged in an attack or participated in an attempted attack. So now they may have that information for whatever reason. They may not want to share it. Maybe it's not the appropriate time to share it. They may be worried about compromising sensitive sources and methods and don't want to talk about that. But if that's the case, there are ways to still win the case. You could assert a state secrets privilege where the executive asserts a privilege, and the courts have to make a decision as to whether or not to dismiss the case because the national security of our country is so jeopardized that the disclosure of information to win the case by the government would jeopardize national security. And so in that situation, the courts have historically in the past dismissed the case outright. So there are various things that could happen here. It's just hard to predict because I don't know Donald Trump at all, and of course we have a new attorney general, and I don't know the other lawyers working on this case. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. As I said earlier,
it's the state secrets privilege assertion is an interesting idea because one of I think the legitimate criticisms of the states the case the Justice Department presented was the failure to include any documentation or evidence relating to the threat posed by these 7 countries. And again, this is not these 7 countries identified by the previous administration, ostensibly based on intelligence. And so you either can provide some of that or, as you say, assert privilege because it's too sensitive to be subject to public scrutiny. That seems to be a legitimate issue. But the problem is, even if you did that, I mean, the Ninth Circuit decision, for example, on the issue of green card holders and segmenting them out explicitly in any order, that this decision extended potentially extends due process rights beyond green card holders to citizens from other countries, which is really an expansion of consideration for due process rights for non-Americans. And this gets into the question the Trump administration has to face. We're so confident that we're on solid constitutional and legal footing that we didn't think we needed to do any of this. But you read this relatively politicized and open-ended decision, a lot of new ground being plowed here by the Ninth Circuit, and you say, well, maybe we either provide evidence or we take the advice you offered at the outset of trying to make this matter moot by implementation.
Well, clearly there's language in the opinion that is disappointing and somewhat interesting, is the way I would characterize it. And for that reason, as I said at the outset, as a lawyer in the White House or at the Department of Justice, I'm not going to lose a great deal of sleep over this. I mean, I've been involved in very sensitive, controversial cases where, you have a decision at the Court of Appeals level and the Supreme Court just simply flat out disagrees. That happens. And so the fact that the state of Washington beat Donald Trump, as the governor said, doesn't mean that the state of Washington is also going to prevail on the merits here. I think we have a long way to go, but from my perspective, as I've said before, the number one concern, if you're the president, is how do we protect our country? And so even though we may not have been successful here in the Ninth Circuit, that doesn't preclude the White House from exploring other ways to keep us safe.
I mean, I don't want to belabor this decision too much, but, I never really used my law degree, so this is my chance.
Oh, boy, here we go.
And so I just have to
brace yourself.
I mean, some of the things that the Ninth Circuit did, they essentially said that they would likely consider Trump's campaign statements in determining whether the executive order violated the Establishment Clause of the First Amendment. Talk about opening Pandora's box.
Well, I've said before in other interviews that if I'm a judge, I would have to discount campaign statements. Think about all the political rhetoric that occurs during a campaign, and think of all the campaign promises that never translate into presidential policy. And so, if I were to consider campaign statements, I would certainly have to discount them because of that very reason.
Now, in this 29-page opinion that they wrote, they did point out that the government failed to offer any evidence that anyone from these 7 countries perpetrated an attack in America. Why do you think they left out that key detail? Is it because there's no proof of it happening?
A couple of reasons. One, they may have felt that it wouldn't be necessary, that they could prevail without it. 2, they may, for national security reasons, that they might not want to talk about it or get into the details of it. Or 3, they may not have the reason simply may not exist. So those are 3 possible reasons why nothing was put forward here. And so we'll have to wait and see ultimately what the answer is.
Stories about Judge Neil Gorsuch meeting with senators as per his nomination to the Supreme Court, and suggesting that some of Trump's comments about the federal district court judge in this case were troubling to him, demeaning to judges. Clearly, Neil Gorsuch takes the
role of the judiciary and his role as a judge very seriously, as he should, as more should, frankly. And so there's no issue with that. But some people have made an issue of, a president criticizing the judiciary, criticizing sitting judges and so forth. This is hardly new, but what's your posture on that issue?
Well, the framers afforded federal judges lifetime tenure precisely to protect them, to provide protection from criticism, give them courage to make controversial decisions, unpopular decisions. My own view is if a judge is adversely affected by criticism, even criticism from the President of the United States, then that person probably should get a new job, quite frankly. However, I think this is an important point, a big however. Criticism of the judiciary, particularly from the president, does call into question the integrity of the judiciary in the minds of the average American. I don't think that's a good thing. I really don't. I think judges, it's a difficult job. 99.9% of judges are not affected by politics as far as I can see and based upon my experience. They're doing the very best they can. And so I don't think criticism of the type that President Trump has offered is helpful. I don't think it's not good for the judiciary, the image of the judiciary. And so I don't think, again, he did himself any favors. I'm not suggesting the Ninth Circuit was motivated in any way by the comments made by President Trump, but he certainly didn't help himself at all with those kind of comments in this case, and just generally with the judiciary.
And your position then would be the same about what President Obama's comments in his 2010 State of the Union address, where he essentially took out after certain members of the Supreme Court for their decision in Citizens United.
Absolutely, because what are they going to do? I mean, they're not going to defend themselves. I just didn't think it was appropriate. And at the end of the day, we have to have respect for certainly the judiciary, and I don't think the comments by President Trump were helpful. I know that President Bush, and the kind of statement I would have made was that I respectfully disagree. I disagree strongly. But I respect the decision of the courts, and we plan to appeal. I think that's a much more appropriate way to respond to an adverse decision.
He is former United States Attorney General and now the Dean of the Belmont University School of Law, Alberto Gonzales. His new book, True Faith and Allegiance. Alberto Gonzales, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Oh, one bus driver was very ornery. Well, could it be because his diaper was full and he needed a change? But first, here's your forecast today. It's going to be breezy and mild. Some sun expected and some high clouds. 42 degrees, pretty warm for this time of year. Saturday, set up your D-Don Den. It's going to be mostly cloudy, but highs in the upper 40s. And on Sunday, we're going to have a little rain that's going to turn into some snow showers by the afternoon. A high of 42 degrees. Any high travel times? Let's get the answers and jump into our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Telemonte.
Yes, Amy. The northbound tri-state is jammed from 115th and Ridgeland to 75th after a car fire. Northbound I-65 still closed at State Road 10 after a truck fire. The Kennedy 39 minutes O'Hare to downtown. The Ike 45 minutes Thorndale to the post office. Stevenson 55 minutes 355 to the drive. That's traffic in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
The C.H. Hansen Company stands proud as a great American hand tool manufacturer. Founder C.H. Hansen was a Chicago native, and the company remains family-owned and operated for over a century and a half. C.H. Hansen wishes to thank their employees for their service and customers for their business. C.H. Hansen offers over 2,000 products, stock and custom order in 8 product categories, including steel stamps, stencils, metal tags, barricade and flagging tapes, plus Palmgren, makers of work-holding vices and metalworking machinery. Although business, products, customers, and the industry have changed, the leadership of C.H. Hansen continues to attribute success on the founding principles of faith and quality tools. The mission of C.H. Hansen is to glorify God by the way that they serve their customers, treat employees, and help community. This is accomplished by providing valued products, exemplary customer service, and operation excellence. Visit chhansen.com or palmgren.com for more information.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm telling you right now, it's awesome. I was trying to get my blood pressure regulated, okay? And like after 3 days of taking this thing, my blood pressure went back down to normal. I am ecstatic. I am so happy with this stuff. It is my savior.
This was the first summer that I have not had to have a steroid shot to help me to breathe.
The reason why I'm taking it because I've got Hep C. Once I began taking your stuff, it took a few months, but believe it or not, my liver enzymes are way down and it's normal now. It works.
The new challenge will allow you to receive 2 months of Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies free. And we'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago.
It's the most effective product that I've ever bought in my life, but I should have ordered it like 15 years ago.
If I only had more leads, if I only had more prospects to sell to. Sound familiar? The Sales Prospecting Group is ready to help you take your business to the next level. The Sales Prospecting Group is a local Chicagoland company that has helped hundreds of companies nationwide to secure new business by getting them in the door. The Sales Prospecting Group will get you appointments with qualified prospects to help you grow your business. They don't use contract labor or offshore callers. Their in-house staff of business account executives are highly trained, professional, and effective. The Sales Prospecting Group will build a custom campaign specifically for your business. They know how to navigate complex corporate hierarchies to get to the right people and get you connected with them. The Sales Prospecting Group specializes exclusively on B2B sales. Call the Sales Prospecting Group now to learn how they could help your business grow in 2017. 630-701-9052. 630-701-9052. The Sales Prospecting Group. It's time to grow.
Hey, Valentine's Day is next week. It's Tuesday, so forget the roses and candy. Do something different, unique, a gift you can both enjoy. Take your Valentine to Punta Cana. Join us and Joe Walsh in Punta Cana, courtesy of our great friends over there at Apple Vacations. We'll be staying at the Secrets Cap Cana Resort and Spa. It's just a few months old. It's gorgeous. Go online, check it out yourself. It has 5 gourmet restaurants, 7 bars. It's a beautiful property. All the bells and whistles, well-appointed rooms, comfortable beds, and sparkling pools, and it's on a pristine beach. So get more information and book your trip by visiting 560theanswer.com, keyword passport. And listen up, right now you can enter for a chance to win a free trip exclusively by downloading and launching the AM560 mobile app. Just go to 560theanswer.com/mobile or text the word app to 64636 to get the AM560 mobile app and enter for your chance to win Buena Suerte. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Kellyanne Conway crosses the line at 7:37.
But first, we want to thank Patricia Bowser for listening to AM560 The Answer. Patricia Bowser, thanks for making Chicago's Morning Answer and AM560 part of your day. Now we go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. 23 degrees, cloudy skies, winds out of the south right now at 11, and President Donald Trump's travel ban remains on hold. Federal appeals court in San Francisco questioning the Trump administration motives for keeping people out of the U.S. who are from 7 predominantly Muslim countries.
This is a good day for the United States of America because we're continuing to assert the reality that Donald Trump doesn't seem to want to accept, that he's not above the law, that he can't just unchecked do bans like this.
Senator Cory Booker, 12, including young children, have been killed in landslides on the island of Bali that wiped out several homes. Indonesia's disaster mitigation agency say the landslides struck the villages caused by sustained torrential rain. A 16-year-old girl is among 4 arrested in southern France by anti-terror forces today. The Paris prosecutor's office says authorities uncovered a makeshift bomb laboratory with explosive TATP and other base ingredients for bomb fabrication inside a home that was raided. Police say one of the suspects was believed to have been in the final stages of planning a suicide attack. British household products company Reckitt Benckiser acquiring U.S. baby formula maker Mead Johnson this morning. It's a $16.6 billion move that will actually help Reckitt grow not here, but in China. The U.S. Senate has confirmed Tom Price as the next Health and Human Services Secretary on a party line vote, 52-47. 9 are without a home following a 3-alarm blaze that tore through an apartment building in Oak Park. No injuries reported. A building across the street from the Percy Julian Middle School. And a group of Illinois agencies and businesses that provide services to state government has opened a second front in the legal fight to get Illinois to pay billions in back due bills. The Pay Now Illinois Coalition has filed suit in St. Clair County demanding state officials pay back bills dating to July. Blackhawks skate against the Jets tonight while the Bulls square off against the Suns in Phoenix. The News is a service of Connect Better. When you connect better, everything comes together. Join the more than 3 million people who use GoToMeeting every month to connect with their team. Try it free at GoToMeeting.com. 7:33 is our time. We'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
It's Galaxy's free sale. Free installation, free design, and free financing.
773-783-8300. Call Galaxy.
February is the month of love, and you're going to love the savings at Schrank Smoke & Gun. Now through February 22nd, all-in stock ammo and reloading components are 20% off, so now is the time to stock up. Get to Schrank Smoke & Gun, where you'll find the largest selection of new, used, and consignment firearms in Lake County, and you'll avoid the Cook County firearm and ammo tax. For repairs, cleaning, and custom work, Schrank's has on-site gunsmithing at fair, reasonable rates. And cigar lovers, be sure to check out Schrank's extensive cigar selection. Don't wait. Hurry into Schrank Smoke & Gun for the best selection during the 20% off ammo sale now through February 22nd. Visit SmokeTheletterN.gun.org for information or call 847-662-4034. That's 847-662-4034 or online at SmokeTheletterN.gun.org. Schrank Smoke & Gun in Waukegan, your family-owned gun store since 1964.
You're the one that gets it done. The person your friends call to see if you can fix it. Brakes? No biggie. Shocks and struts? Simple and straightforward. The catalytic converter heat shield? Come on. If it has wheels, you can make it go. But not having the right part can bring your project to a screeching halt. Problem solved with MyPartsGarage.com. My Parts Garage is not a big box store that needs to wait to get a part in. My Parts Garage is the warehouse that sells wholesale to you. They own the inventory, so your part is always in stock. But wait, there's more. Like free shipping within 24 hours, in-state next-day delivery, or pick it up today at the warehouse. Plus, the customer service is seriously awesome. So the last thing you need to do is drive fast and furiously to find auto parts. With the average driver in Chicago commuting at least 24 miles per day, people are spending more hours in their car than they do at home. Drivers need you, the mechanic. You need MyPartsGarage.com. Lowest prices guaranteed.
I'm 41 years old, father of 3. I got into running and triathlon. I even ran the Boston Marathon, but I injured my hip.
A patient from Midwest Orthopedics at Rush and his surgeon tell his story.
An MRI revealed that Matt had hip impingement, so we offered him a minimally invasive surgery.
The great thing about Dr. No, he only does hips, so he is extremely specialized. He has it down to a science. And it's well known that Rush really does have the best orthopedic program in the area.
The orthopedic program at Rush is ranked number 4 in the country by U.S. News and World Report.
To make an appointment at one of 5 locations, call 877-MD-BONES.
Once I started running, I regained my form really quickly. I signed up for a half Ironman, and I completed it within just a few minutes of my personal best time.
To be able to go back into a half Ironman pretty close to the same level that he was doing before, it's actually pretty remarkable.
Let us show you how orthopedic care should be at rushortho.com.
7:36. Let's check our roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Northbound I-65 remains closed from State Road 10 to State Road 2 after a truck fire. There's a lot of cleanup involving literally tons of cereal. Northbound Tri-State jammed Cicero to 75th after a car fire. Eden's just 20 minutes like Cook to Montrose outbound 19. The Kennedy, 37 minutes. O'Hare to downtown outbound 30. The Eisenhower, 49 minutes. Thorndale to the post office outbound 32. Stevenson, 55 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. The Ryan is 28 minutes from 95th to downtown. Traffic as a service of Hum by Verizon. Is your check engine light on? Hum by Verizon can tell you why. You can fix small problems before they become big ones. Find out how to make your car smarter, safer, and more connected with Hum by Verizon. Visit hum.com today. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center, providing the right climate for business since 1935. Breezy and milder today. Periods of clouds and sun, high 42. Currently 23. Next news coming up at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Ayn Rand Institute and the Yaron Brook Show. Heard Saturday afternoons at 4 here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Kellyanne Conway made a no-no, and we talked to A.B. Stoddard from RealClearPolitics.com about earlier in the show.
Yeah, we spoke with her earlier.
Yes, her. And she knows Kellyanne very well, and she suggested Kellyanne knows very well that you're not supposed to be flacking for brand names while you're representing the executive branch. And, oh, by the way, federal ethics rules dictate that specifically an employee of the executive branch, quote, shall not use his public office for his own private gain, for the endorsement of any product, service, or enterprise, or for the private gain of friends, relatives, or persons with whom the employee is affiliated in a non-governmental capacity. So this would, of course, include official speeches, TV interviews, and the like. And to say what she said in advance of Ivanka's business interests is a problem.
Well, it was her QVC moment. It was her testimony about how she loves Ivanka Trump's stuff.
This is it's a wonderful line. I own some of it. I'm going to give a free commercial here. Go buy it today, everybody. You can find it online.
Oops.
Yeah, so she crossed the line, but I mean, and so she should suffer the repercussions of that, whatever penalties are attached to violation of that rule that I just read.
I mean, the ethic laws and, the penalties for it, they're really not clear on what the penalties are. What they're doing is they wrote her a letter, they sat her down, and they told her what she did was wrong.
No, that's punishment enough.
Shai, questions have been raised after Kellyanne Conway did an interview, I believe it was with Fox News this morning, where she appeared to, from the confines of the Brady briefing room, promote the products of Ivanka Trump. Do you believe that she crossed an ethical line?
Kellyanne has been counseled, and that's all we're going to go with. She's been counseled on that subject, and that's it.
Usually ethics rules as it pertains to elected officials and government employees, they don't have any teeth because they're passed not to have any teeth. They're passed to say, I sponsored, and we voted for landmark ethics reform. That doesn't do anything. So whatever the repercussions are, they are. And she crossed the line. She's very smart. She's very capable. She's been around this racket for many, many moons. She knew better. It was a flippant remark, I suppose. It was in response, kind of a little bit of perhaps battle weariness, and you just feel like you want to kind of lash back at all the people that are hammering people that really...
And she was defending a person that she really cares for and loves, and that's Ivanka Trump.
Well, okay. I mean, I don't know the relationship, but
loves his dad.
let's assume that that's true, but also the idea, and this is what some other people have said, not defending the comment, but in Ivanka Trump being the target of such opprobrium. Wait, I thought Ivanka Trump is like an example for the successful mother, businesswoman, carries herself in a dignified manner. She's like, for many women, I suspect, a kind of a role model or somebody that you look and say, well, that's a woman who's got it together. I wish I had it together as well as she does. I certainly say that about Ivanka.
Exactly. And I think you're a little jealous of her clothing line because it doesn't fit your big bone body. I mean...
well, it's if I would appreciate, and I've mentioned at Nordstrom's before, if she would come out with a line that is for people who are more pear-shaped.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
What
do you think of her line? 312-642-5600 is our turnkey Dev-Pro answer line.
You just committed a Salem radio
What?
ethics violation.
By saying-
I'm sorry.
What did I do?
Please bring the sergeant at arms in here. We're going to have to take Ms. Jacobs now.
But there is a potential disciplinary action because Elijah Cummings from the House Oversight Committee and Jason Chaffetz have penned a letter asking for an investigation.
When Kellyanne Conway said what she said about buying that particular product, that was wrong. I called it out. I called Elijah Cummings, who's the ranking member on my committee.
Can you clap here or yell? Yeah.
We jointly, as the chairman, myself, the ranking member, Mr. Cummings, and we sent a very candid, very direct letter to the White House and to the Office of Government Ethics. They need to investigate it. What Kellyanne Conway was wrong, it should never happen again, and there should be some accountability there.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But barring this being orchestrated in some way, which I don't believe it was, but barring this being orchestrated, Kellyanne Conway and Ivanka are conspiring to leverage her status in the executive office to sell Ivanka's clothes, barring something like that. Right, which of course is, it would be very difficult to fathom that that's the case. I have no idea what the case is. So Chaffetz's position is perfectly fine. The response from the left that, by the way, kind of waved off Hillary Clinton leveraging the State Department for hundreds of millions of dollars for Clinton Foundation donations and tens of millions of dollars in speaking fees for her husband.
They ignored that, but they're all over this.
That's not an issue. And then I got a text from a friend of mine who's like, "Oh, you were so hard on the Clintons for Clinton Inc. and all this stuff. I hope you're going to be equally hard on the avarice of the Trump administration and the first family and enriching themselves." I mean, this is not proportional. And, the left has no capacity to be proportional, I suppose, or even to be consistent. You didn't care about the criminal enterprise that was the Clinton Foundation. You care about Kellyanne Conway making an inappropriate remark.
Yeah, it seemed like her heart was in the right place. She seemed a little flippant. She wasn't really thinking before she was speaking, but she says everything's okay with her and President Trump.
We're aware of that letter, and we're reviewing that internally. I'm just really happy that I spent an awful lot of time with the President of the United States this afternoon, and that he supports me 100%.
Okay.
And he still loves me.
There's the signal. And Kellyanne is good at her job. He should support her.
He wouldn't be in office if he didn't have Kellyanne Conway.
It was a mistake that she made. You acknowledge the mistake. The penalties are whatever they're going to be. Let the Office of Government Ethics investigate it to their heart's desire and make whatever determination they're going to make. But the kind of hysteria of the left, it just undermines their case, number one, but number two, it just undermines them as serious people. To talk about the Clinton Foundation and the Clintons and what they did, and to try and make this tortured comparison. I mean...
Oh, I like a tortured comparison.
Everything about the left is torturous.
There you go.
Marty in Naperville, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, I personally think it was a brilliant move. The lefties just keep giving us more and more free publicity, or free commercials.
It wasn't a brilliant move for Kellyanne Conway.
She gets reprimanded, but whatever. It's free commercials. I think it was a brilliant move.
Okay, thanks for the call, Marty. Where else can I get clothes for my pear-shaped body type if I can't get it from the Ivanka Trump line?
Lane Bryant.
Lane Bryant. Yeah, that's right. That's where I need to go. That's a good call. Deborah in Palatine.
Yeah, I buy Ivanka Trump clothing, and I was disappointed in Nordstrom about what they did. So I went on their Facebook page, and I said, I'm disappointed in what you did, and I think it's wrong, and what about all your customers? You would not believe the vicious, disgusting attacks toward me or anybody that agreed with me. I ended up having to take it down because I was getting a little afraid about the people that were commenting on me just saying that. It's an attack to shut people down that disagree with you. The left will have none of anybody, the diversity and inclusion thing and tolerance, that is such a big farce to me. I don't even want to hear those words anymore.
Thanks for the call, Deborah. Well, that's true. That's the left's play here, and thus the hysteria wherever they can foment hysteria. Margot in Burr Ridge.
Hi. Yeah, I'm an ardent Trump supporter, but I do have to say, as a retailer, I know exactly what happened. Ivanka closed out her unsold merchandise to places like TJ Maxx and Marshalls, and no upper-end retailer is going to put up with that. They've bought the same merchandise at a higher price, and they're supposed to sell that to their customers, and then she closes out, to like TJ Maxx. That's the problem. She needs to rectify that problem so that she doesn't compete with them at TJ Maxx.
Oh, that's okay.
So,
That's a good point. I mean, it's from just a straight business perspective, there are implications. That makes perfect sense to me. Now, Margo, since you're a retailer, does Neiman Marcus have women's clothing for pear-shaped bodies? Because I'm all right.
Maybe you can try Saks Fifth Avenue.
I'm an upper-end client. I'm not going down market.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Plus, I want something that, minimizes my deformities. Phil and Palatine.
This is Phil, Northwest Side.
Okay, Phil on the Northwest Side.
Phil. Good morning. I just like to know, I know she messed up with the comment, but I'd like to know, outside of the corrupt politicians we've been dealing with, how about the congressmen and senators? How many businesses are they attached to? Container companies? How many of them are connected to slavery, their families, and everything else?
Slavery?
Is there some place to get public information?
Yeah, there's. Thanks for the call, Phil. I mean, there are financial statements of economic interest, the forms that members of Congress have to fill out that are somewhat extensive, so you can find out who's got ties to slavery. Okay. Keith on the Northwest Side.
Hey, yeah, well, I'm a big Trump fan, but the big deal right here is that she did something wrong, full stop. These people need to tighten up all the loose ends. A good strong chain is not only as good as its weakest link, and right now they found one, and they're going to exploit every single crack. The only person that's allowed to have a Twitter account, the only person that's allowed to stick up for his family is Trump. Everybody else needs to shut up, do their job the way Obama did, because Obama had a tight leash on everybody. These people, I love them to death. I really do. But you got to be 110% because they got everybody looking for cracks in their armor.
Yeah.
And if this
They're
is
a
the
little
one
sloppy.
that exposes it, that's the deal.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Keith. You're right. I mean, it needs to be a more disciplined operation. That was the case in the campaign. Arguably, he won, but it wasn't because he was undisciplined, and it was in spite of that. And you could say the same about moments over the last 2 weeks as well, even though there have been a lot of, very good personnel choices and confirmations are moving forward, and there are other things that are progressing along nicely. So it's a mixed bag, but it never hurts to be more disciplined, particularly when, as you say, there are that many long knives out for Trump and his staff. George in Libertyville.
Two things, Dan. Number one, where was the outrage when Obama gave his buddies at Solyndra $900 million of American money before they went bankrupt? And secondly, in protest, I'm going to Nordstrom's today. I'm going to buy the best Ivanka Trump outfit I can, and I'm going to go sit in a women's bathroom as a transgender.
That'll show them.
Get the stilettos.
Thanks, George.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
George, she does have a sexy shoe line, too. Don't forget the red pumps. Today, it's going to be nice, mild, few wispy clouds, some sunshine, peaks of it, a high of 42. Saturday, mostly cloudy, a high in the upper 40s. And on Sunday, a little rain in here that could turn into a snow mix late in the afternoon, a high of 42 degrees. Let's get into it. The Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. It's always busy on a Friday. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Yeah, busier than it should be in northwest Indiana, Amy. Northbound I-65 is shut down from State Road 10 in the Roselawn area to State Road 2. So traffic is forced off at State Road 10. This is after a much earlier truck fire, and this semi was carrying thousands of pounds of cereal. So that's got to be cleaned up. You can use 231 or 41 to get up to State Road 2 to get back to 65. Southbound, it's all open. Eden's just 20 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 19. Kennedy, 39 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound 30. The Eisenhower is now 52 minutes from Thorndale to the post office, outbound 34. Stevenson getting a little heavier, 57 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. It's fine outbound. The Ryan, 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State, very slow, Cicero to Archer. There was an earlier car fire at 75th. Then heavy farther north from the Stevenson to 47th. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Hey guys, Valentine's Day this Tuesday, and two words you never thought you'd hear together, flirty and flannel. Oh, not anymore. Introducing the flirty flannel pajamas from Pajamagram. The experts over there took the warm flannel that she loves and made it into a sexy PJ that you'll love too. Soft, warm flannel with an inviting look and feel that's seductive, fun, and flirty. Delivery is guaranteed by Valentine's Day, but you must order right now. Here's what you do. Visit pajamagram.com or call 1-800-GIVE-PJs. Say goodbye to boring flannel PJs and say hello, hola, to the flirty flannel. Flirty flannel pajamas exclusively at pajamagram.com. And you don't even have to wrap because every Pajamagram includes free gift packaging. Delivery is still guaranteed. So visit pajamagram.com or call 1-800-GIVE-PJs and tell them Dan and Amy sent you.
Hi, I'm Mary Beth. I had a failed root canal and it was causing me pain. Dr. Neruzzi took care of my tooth and I got my implant, and then I had another after that fail, and he did that one as well. And the experience was, they were amazing. It was not painful at all like I thought it was going to be, and I was very, very, very nervous about the whole thing. Nobody enjoys getting, implants or dental work, and I procrastinated, but I had to have it done. And he took me in immediately and took care of it. And he made it really affordable. They're very accommodating to people that cannot afford to have it done. I would recommend Dr. Neruzzi to anybody, and I have given him referrals. My own sister had hers done by him.
This is Dr. Neruzzi. I personally guarantee your happiness with your implants. Go to implantsforme.com.
For missing teeth, dental implants are wonderful. The advantages are fantastic. Just remember, implantsforme.com. Implantsforme.com.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity presented by upstream-ideas.com. Emerson contended that foolish consistency is the hobgoblin of little minds. So is politicized inconsistency. A useful comparison presented itself with Trump's nomination of Judge Neil Gorsuch the same week the fires of intolerance literally burned on the campus of UC Berkeley. Gorsuch noted that if confirmed, he would occupy the seat held by both Justices Antonin Scalia and Robert Jackson. His inclusion of the underappreciated Jackson was telling. In the seminal case of West Virginia State Board of Ed v. Barnett, arguing that compulsory unification of opinion achieves only the unanimity of the graveyard, Jackson held that students didn't have to salute the American flag or recite the pledge, and thereby protected the religious liberty rights of Jehovah's Witnesses. Gorsuch's jurisprudence has been similarly enlightened, consistently protecting the religious liberty rights of those ranging from Little Sisters of the Poor to an imprisoned Muslim man convicted of rape. Contrast that with the scene at Berkeley, the birthplace and now resting place of the campus free speech movement. Students committed acts of violence because they were intent on silencing a conservative speaker. Shall America chart her course with big thinkers like Gorsuch or Berkeley's small-minded hobgoblins?
AM 560, The Answer.
So, the bus story. All right, there was a big storm out east yesterday, and a reporter at Fox 29 out there had the, drew the short stick and had to head out into the inclement weather and watch people try and get on a bus. So he got on the bus and was, did an impromptu interview with the bus driver. And some people were trying to sneak on the bus without paying. And here was that.
How's driving a SEPTA bus in this weather today?
Coming up here was extremely bad, but going down the roads is much better. Hey, y'all better pay. I don't care if it's snow out there. Y'all better pay. Or y'all better pay now. What I say?
See, the idea was, I got to take the for it. The idea was you interview the driver while he's busy. We're going to sneak on the bus and get a free ride home.
Channel 29 is paying for everybody. Yay! It's free today for Channel 29.
All right, well, we're going to get Mike Jack's credit card and just swipe it through and let everybody ride free. How's that?
There you go.
All right.
So,
That's the worst episode of The Honeymooners ever. I thought this was going to be about bus drivers and diapers.
Well, here's the thing. Mike Jarek, by the way, is the anchor at the
I know
station
Mike.
who's going to... Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, as it turns out, some SEPTA drivers wear diapers, too. And I was thinking, by watching this, that this man's diaper was probably full.
You know what they need to do?
Changing.
You know what they need to do? This idea for CTA. I mean, I'm just trying to spitball here, trying to help out.
Yeah.
Especially if you got a long shift. They should make an articulated diaper like the articulated buses with that joint in the middle, so you got a little bit more room before you need a changing.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I had gout in both my knees, and it's gone.
Well, I'm pretty stupid. I should have ordered it 15 years ago. It's the most effective product that I've ever bought in my life.
He had eczema on his hand, and it cracked for years. He did anything from doctor, every cream, everything. And 3 months on the veggies and fruit, it was gone.
They're just awesome. They keep asking me, what am I doing? I told them what I did with my cholesterol. I had the blood test, right? And it went down 100 points. 262, now it's 162. Everything is just perfect.
Balance of Nature is celebrating its 20th anniversary by providing you the best offer they've ever given. 2 free months of fruits and veggies and free shipping. Call now for details. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago.
Hey, as I mentioned, Valentine's Day is Tuesday. Do something unique, a gift you can both enjoy, and that's to get out of town and join us, Dan Proft, Amy Jacobson, and Joe Walsh, in beautiful Punta Cana, Dominican Republic, courtesy of our great friends over there at Apple Vacations. Take a look at the Secrets Cap Cana Resort and Spa online. I mean, it is gorgeous. Brand new hotel, adults only, 5 gourmet restaurants, 7 bars, 24-hour room service, and it has wonderful pools, and it's located on the pristine beaches. So get more information and book your trip by visiting 560theanswer.com. Keyword passport. The trip is filling up quickly, so do it this weekend. And also, you can enter for a chance to win a free trip exclusively by downloading and launching the AM 560 mobile app. Just go to 560theanswer.com/mobile or text the word app to 64636 to get the AM 560 mobile app and enter for your chance to win. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
I'm a black parent of a new Trier student. That's how Robert Blackwell started his letter. He'll complete it for us at 8:08.
And trying to ban the decline of cats, making it illegal. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan here with the stories we're watching at this hour. The group IPRA recommends the firing of a Chicago police officer who shot Darius Pinex. We'll have an update on that developing story. Bail set for a man in Chicago charged with a hate crime and vandalism of a Loop synagogue. Authorities have identified a man found dead in Lake in the Hills. Blackhawks battling the Jets tonight while the Bulls square off with the Suns on a milder day here in the Chicago area. WIND Chicago News Time is 8 o'clock.
Fox News Radio. I'm Dave Anthony. A disgraceful decision. That's what President Trump tweeted a short time ago, reacting again to the appeals court ruling upholding a judge's stay blocking the president's executive order that temporarily halted travel from 7 predominantly Muslim countries considered terrorists.
I am a real cop.
Now, this Democratic Senator Richard Blumenthal has said that shows that the president should rip up this order. We now go live to the White House and Fox's John Decker.
Less than 30 minutes after a federal appeals court unanimously refused to reinstate President Trump's ban on travel from 7 Muslim-majority countries, he issued a defiant response on Twitter, writing, "See you in court. The security of our nation is at stake." He then told reporters the decision was political.
It's a decision that will win, in my opinion, very easily.
3 judges on the Ninth Circuit rejected the government's argument that courts have no authority to review an executive branch decision on immigration policy. The White House is now considering whether to rewrite the executive order. Dave?
John, another challenge to the order goes to court today in Virginia. A congressman has a new job. Tom Price will now be Health and Human Services Secretary. The Senate confirmed him at about 2 a.m.
It can start bringing stability to the health care markets Obamacare has harmed. It can start bringing relief to the families Obamacare has hurt.
Democrat and Republican leader Mitch McConnell. Democrats claim Price will be like a fox guarding the hen house and hurt health care overseeing Obamacare's replacement. 2 American children are distraught in Arizona. Their mother, here illegally, was deported to Mexico.
It's a nightmare having your mother taken away from you. The person who's always there for you, gone.
Angel Reyes Garcia and his sister were reunited with their mom, Guadalupe, at a shelter near the border last night. Immigration officials say she had no legal basis to be here, convicted years ago of using a fake Social Security number and ordered deported, but the Obama administration had let her stay. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Clouds and sunshine. We have 23 degrees, wind south at 11. 8:02 is our time on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. 9 without a home following a 3-alarm blaze that destroyed an apartment building, tearing through that structure in Oak Park early this morning. No injuries reported. The Chicago panel that investigates police shootings is recommending an officer involved in the fatal shooting of a black man during a 2011 traffic stop be fired for allegedly lying in court. The Independent Police Review Authority, or IPRA, found discrepancies between Officer Raul Mosqueda's accounts of the events leading up to the shooting of Darius Pinex and a police dispatch recording. A group of agencies and businesses that provide services to state government has opened a second front in the legal fight to get Illinois to pay billions in back due bills. The Pay Now Illinois Coalition filed a suit in St. Clair County Thursday demanding state officials pay bills dating back to July. Mayor Emanuel promoting plans for high-speed rail service to O'Hare. The mayor saying yesterday the city is going to embark on that project and would like to begin construction within the next 3 years. Chicago sports. Blackhawks take on the Jets on the ice later on tonight, while the Bulls square off against the Suns in Phoenix. Chicago 2-2 on its 6-game road trip. It's 8:03, time for the AM 560 Business Beat. From the Fox Business Network, a service of Turnkey.pro, here is Jenny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, U.S. stock futures in the green this morning. All three stock indexes on Wall Street hit record marks yesterday, driven by strong earnings reports from major companies. Asian markets also up, cheering President Trump's promise to cut taxes for businesses soon. European markets mixed. Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe in Washington, D.C. to meet with President Trump today. It's a chance to repair economic ties shaken by the U.S. withdrawal from the Trans-Pacific Partnership. Last night, President Trump held his first phone call with Chinese leader Xi Jinping, the U.S. agreeing to honor the One China policy. Meanwhile, a positive sign for the world's second largest economy. China's exports up 7.9% in January, rebounding from contraction. Imports also up, rising 16.7%. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Lillian Wu.
8:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
You need to understand that the way you build wealth is you do not use the evening news or CNN or Fox to set the tone of your emotions around your investing.
The Dave Ramsey Show.
If you're thinking of changing your investing patterns because you're watching the news, you need to turn off the news. You are in charge of your destiny.
Dave Ramsey. Weeknights starting at 7. Presented by Wintrust Community Bank on AM 560. The Answer.
Valentine's Day is next week, and I have an amazing deal from Sherry's Berries. Right now, you can get their giant, juicy, gourmet dipped strawberries starting at $19.99. Listen, these berries are huge and come freshly dipped in dark, white, and milk chocolatey goodness, and covered in toppings like chocolate chips and nuts, all starting at $19.99. But hurry, this offer expires soon. The only way to get this amazing deal is to go to berries.com, click on the microphone in the upper right corner, and use secret code 6565. Berries.com, code 6565.
Guys, Valentine's Day is next week. Luckily, ProFlowers is offering an unbelievable deal. 1 dozen red roses plus a free glass vase and chocolates for $29.99 plus shipping and handling. Order now from ProFlowers. You pick the delivery date and it's guaranteed. But hurry, this incredible deal expires this weekend. The only way to get this amazing deal is to visit ProFlowers.com. Click on the blue microphone in the upper right corner and enter the secret code 3535. That's ProFlowers.com. Secret code 3535.
8:06. Let's get an update on the roads now. Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center time. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Northbound I-65 is closed from State Road 10 to State Road 2 after an earlier truck fire and crash. Southbound all lanes are open. Edens is now delay-free, but the inbound Kennedy is slow from Foster to the Burns Circle. 36 minutes O'Hare to downtown, 24 from Montrose, 23 in the Express. Outbound 11 minutes to Montrose, 27 to O'Hare. The Eisenhower, 55 minutes Thorndale to the post office, 41 from Manheim. Outbound 34 to Thorndale. Stevenson, 56 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 5. Lyon, 32 minutes, 95th to downtown. Southbound Lakeshore Drive, it's bottled up from Lawrence to North Avenue, then 18th to the Stevenson. Northbound Tri-State delays are very heavy from 95th to 47th. A little slow from the Reagan Tollway to the Eisenhower. Northbound Veterans Memorial, slow 63rd to the Reagan Tollway, and the other tollways are fine. Traffic answers when you need them most. Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center, providing the right climate for business since 1935. Here's meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
A breezy day with winds up to 30 miles per hour, gusting to 35 miles per hour. Periods of clouds and sun with a high today 42. Then it will become rather cloudy for the night tonight with a low of 34. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560. The Answer.
Clouds and sun 23 officially at O'Hare. Next news 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Money Hour radio show, Saturday afternoons at 3 on AM 560. The Answer. Brought to you by Pearshell Financial Group.
Good morning. Welcome to your Friday morning briefing. Here's what you need to know to start your day.
Go buy Ivanka's stuff is what I would tell you. I hate shopping. I'm going to go get some on myself today.
Kellyanne has been counseled, and that's all we're going to go with.
Are some of these refugees, in your view, aligned with terrorists?
Oh, definitely. And,
definitely.
Definitely. You can find it on the net.
So you believe the judges made a...
We have a situation where the security of our country is at stake. And it's a very, very serious situation. So we look forward, as I just said, to seeing them in court.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So we have been on this story from the outset, this story about this New Trier High School Racial Seminar Day that's scheduled to take place at the end of the month. Mona Charen, nationally syndicated columnist, has weighed in on this, as so many others, as this continues to pick up steam as a national story. Mona Charen writing at National Review as well as at the Sun-Times. She writes, no way to prove this, but see if you agree with me. The average American parent would be glad to see his public high school celebrate Martin Luther King Day with tributes to the civil rights movement, lectures on the history of slavery and Jim Crow, and discussions of the challenges faced by blacks and other minorities in America today. Actually, it's not really a guess because curricula like that are found throughout the nation. The program that is being imposed on Winnetka, Illinois, by contrast, is a hard left indoctrination that could have come straight from the pages of Howard Zinn, held on MLK Day itself in 2016. This year's seminar on race, Understanding Today's Struggle and for Racial Civil Rights, scheduled for February 28. New Trier High School High School has scheduled 2 keynote speakers, dozens of seminars from which to choose for its 4,000 students. 1 or 2 are unobjectionable, like black gospel music, Make a Joyful Noise, or Rap with a Social Conscience. But the rest of the offerings are thoroughly turgid agitprop. And that is the conclusion that many parents of New Trier High School students have drawn as well. A parents group has been formed, parentsofnewtrier.org. They actually met with the unbelievably well-compensated New Trier superintendent, Linda Yankee, $420,000 a year. Whoa. Before pension and health care benefits.
Oh, my goodness.
A dyed-in-the-wool Democrat primary voter, too, just FYI. The members of this parents group met with the superintendent, including Betsy Hart, who we had on this show. Here's the and they have proposed, like, okay, if you want to do this, then let's hear from a broader range of voices. Let's bring in academics like John McWhorter. Let's bring in accomplished journalists like Jason Riley. Let's bring in economists like Walter Williams, who actually lived through all of the history that we're talking about. Most of the, a lot of the history, not all of it, a lot of the history that we're talking about. Here was what the superintendent did, according to this parents group. Refused the request to add 1 or more suggested speakers to any part of the day to add balance.
Oh, yeah, that's fair and balanced, yeah.
Refused the request to allow a time later in the year when, after working with certified teachers, we could produce a 1 hour or so program to bring diverse voices to help problem solve on race relations. Refuse the request to find a way to ensure that parents sign off on the panels their children choose, as they have to do for other coursework. Refuse the request to postpone the program until it could be reworked to include fresh voices for problem solving on race relations because, of course, these children are Miss Yankee's children. They're not the children of their actual parents in Plato's Republic on the North Shore. Well, that's not the only voice. There was a letter posted yesterday from a Mr. Robert Blackwell, that starts out, I'm a parent of a child at New Trier, and why don't we pick it up right from there with the aforesaid Robert Blackwell. Mr. Blackwell, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hi, good morning. How are you today?
Good morning. So you were motivated to weigh in on this issue, and I read the opening line of your letter. Where does it go from there in terms of your view on this racial seminar day that the high school has proposed?
Well, one is I guess, give some context around this and why I decided to write on this.
Okay.
First of all, I'm black, so I have some perspective, and I'm 56, so I'm part of what I call the desegregation generation. I grew up in segregation and was actually the part of the first black family that lived in Lombard, Illinois in 1973.
Wow.
And I had a bomb thrown in my house and "nigger go home" written on my lawn. So I've actually dealt with what I call is real racism. However, luckily I've got great parents, and they never let me form the opinions of other races based on what I call the most ignorant of people. While at the same time, I had a lot of, I would say it was not very pleasant, I had a lot of white friends. So, and my parents never really let me judge people based on the race. And I have a daughter with autism. So I was looking for a safe place where she could go to school. So she went to New Trier, and she's still in the transition program. And the parents, the faculty, and students of New Trier have just been wonderful to her. She's never come home once crying that somebody has mistreated her. She just loves the school, and people have been wonderful to her.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually feel a debt of gratitude to people at the school, including the faculty, for what they've done for my daughter. And the other thing is this is an area that I happen to care a lot about. When I read what was there, I was notified about it. I looked at it, and frankly, I decided this is not something I want my daughter to see. I do not think this represents the best of blacks, or frankly, what most blacks think about these topics. So I was frankly unclear about what the purpose of this seminar day was. And what I was told is that New Trier is a predominantly white school, and lots of their kids leave there and don't have exposure to, other cultures, people from other races that live in our country. So my view is I think there's a better way to do it. Why don't you just invite some black families into your home or into the school, and what you'll find is that they have the exact same issues that you have.
Right.
With their family and work and savings and dealing with teenagers that don't listen to them, and they really have this exact same issues that you have. So I think that if the purpose is trying to gain a better understanding of black Americans, because there's not a lot that live around you, a better way to do this is to invite some black families there, and you interact with them and have your children interact with their children. That is a better way, in my view, and that way you're really not treating blacks like, I would say, some exotic creatures that need to be studied. You find they're just normal people like you who've got the exact same issues you have. And the way that you get to know people is by establishing friendships and commerce. Mm-hmm. That is how people get to know one another, and that's why I think that our system of free enterprise has led to the best outcomes. So it doesn't seem to me that this seminar is accomplishing either one or two things. It's helping a predominantly white community that lives on the North Shore really understand Black Americans, or if the other thing is that you care about having a better America and having those people who have had some historic disadvantage or, frankly, are not as affluent today as the people on the North Shore, then the conversation should be about how to go from poverty to prosperity. And I think this accomplishes neither of those.
But your point of contention in the letter that you wrote is that Black Lives Matter was invited to speak at the school, and you see them as an extreme left-wing socialist group that has nothing positive to say.
Well, I happen to have been in D.C., and I was in Washington at the time of the inauguration, and I was coincidentally walking down the street, and I walked past a sign on the street which was talking about the victims of communism and how many people had been, frankly, murdered by leaders of communist countries. And then Black Lives Matter and the group, the protesters, and Black Lives Matter was one of them, they were advocating for socialism. And it was very clear that it said racism is a tool of capitalism, and the only thing that's going to save us is socialism. And if you look at their website, it says things that I do not believe are good for anybody, especially blacks. They advocate for the disrupting what they call the Western nuclear family, which I can only suppose to mean that they do not believe a father, mother, and children is a healthy way to raise a family. And I absolutely do not believe that, and I don't think most blacks believe that either.
Yeah, and with respect to the school, you've had a great experience with your daughter at the school with both her fellow students as well as the teachers, and that's great. What about the leadership of the school, though? You write in your letter, they, meaning those people who were invited, I guess perhaps the organizers too, that they should just admit they're a group of extreme left-wing socialists that has nothing positive to offer except Marxist revolutionary propaganda. That's a pretty strong statement. It's also a pretty accurate statement. So the question is, what exactly is going on at New Trier that they would sanction something like this and be so intransigent when groups of parents come to them, as spoke with the superintendent there, and say, well, why don't we just expand the conversation? You can have people you think are important to speak, but what about these other individuals who are all accomplished in their own rights and have something important to contribute to the discussion, and we expand the parameters of dialogue? What's the problem with that? There seems to be a problem, at least from the administration's perspective.
Well, listen, frankly, I don't understand it. It's like I said, I don't understand what it. At the end, typically you do something because you want to accomplish something specific. And I'm not sure what that specific thing is. Again, I think it is if it is to expose young people, and these are young people, to people from different backgrounds who have different experiences, then I think there's a better way to do it. Mm-hmm. I think you ought to talk to real people and invite people, families, to come and interact, get to know one another. I think that is better, in my view, than having a seminar on race, where it's not really, it seems to me, very one-sided. And you're actually not talking to, I don't think, I see no balance in this at all.
And it seems, I mean, from what I've read of the practicum and the back and forth I've seen, including, by the way, letters of response to that parentsofnewtrier.org website from proponents of the seminar and opponents of that parents group's position, that are, profanity laden and hysterical and unhinged, which also speaks perhaps to that side's perspective and intellectual heft. But it seems to me the overriding purpose of this is to have a bunch of white kids, and that's New Trier is like 98% plus white. Have a bunch of white kids attend this seminar, shame them for being white, make them apologize for being white, and think that they always have to apologize for being white, and that somehow is going to improve race relations. Or maybe it's actually not about improving race relations. Maybe it's just about trying to gain power through the use of race by certain interested parties.
Well, listen, I can't say what's really in people's hearts or why they're doing what they're doing. So right. I don't want to, put words in their mouth. I just think this is, if what they want to do is to have young people who are not normally exposed to African Americans, there's a better way to do it.
Yeah.
And I do not think listening to people who regularly use the F word, the N word, as a part of their poetry or speech or anything is helpful. In fact, I think I, who have a daughter who happens to be black, do not want her thinking that's what black people are. And I also do not think that it is helpful for white kids who don't have lots of exposure to black kids to have them have their view of blacks tainted, in my view, by people who regularly say the F word, the N word, and that America is somehow this evil place, which seems to me that's another track that I see here, that America is somehow this evil place.
Yeah.
And I think that is not true. And we do have issues in the country. I think they're focusing on the wrong issues. I think the right issue is how you go from poverty to prosperity. Because nowhere in the world are poor people healthy, educated, and safe. And conversely, nowhere in the world are affluent people not healthy, educated, and safe, no matter what their color is.
Yeah.
So if what you really want is to have blacks to live better lives, then we should look at systems that have taken people from poverty to prosperity. And there is nothing that compares to free enterprise that delivers people out of poverty like the free enterprise system.
I think next year that New Trier should do a Robert Blackwell seminar day. What do you think about that?
Sign him up.
I doubt very many people will be interested.
Robert Blackwell, parent of a New Trier high school student. Thanks for joining us and sharing your perspective. Appreciate it.
Terrific. Have a good day. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up next, your response to our interview with Mr. Blackwell and white privilege. But first, here's the forecast. Some high clouds today, but we will have peaks of sunshine, a high of 42 degrees. And tomorrow, mostly cloudy, but warmer, a high in the upper 40s. And on Sunday, for the moon in at noon at the Trump Tower, protesters are going to be met with a little cold rain that could turn into snow, a high of 42 degrees. Let's go into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Always a happening place. Here's Jim Delamonte.
Well, Amy, northbound I-65 is closed to everyone right now. State Road 10 in the Roselawn area due to an earlier truck crash and fire. There's a lot of cleanup. That semi was hauling a lot of cereal. Southbound, everything is open on 65. The Edens is delay-free. Kennedy inbound. Delays start at Montrose. 38 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. Outbound 26. The Eisenhower. 52 minutes, Thorndale to the post office. Outbound 33. Stevenson, 55 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. It's fine outbound. Ryan, 29 minutes, 95th to downtown, southbound Lakeshore Drive, Lawrence to North Avenue and 18th to the Stevenson, northbound Tri-State heavy 95th, much of the way to 31st. Otherwise, the tollways are light. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
If you ever wish to be more knowledgeable about the financial world and take command of your finances, your wait is over. Enroll in the Investor Education Institute 3-session program and learn what the pros know. Call the IEI now at 800-504-8505. Be better prepared to build your wealth, make better decisions, and reach your financial goals. It will give you the tools designed to help you rank asset classes, sectors, and markets to limit risk and recognize potential opportunities. There is limited seating for winter and spring sessions, so call 800-504-8505 now to reserve your space. Don't be caught off guard with a market downturn and learn how to determine trends that could grow and protect your wealth. Call the Investor Education Institute now to find out which session works best for you. Get the knowledge to take control of your financial future and call 800-504-8505. That's 800-504-8505. Or visit instituteforinvestors.com. That's instituteforinvestors.com.
Hi, I'm attorney Stephen Leahy, and I help business owners, 1099 employees, and those with unfiled tax returns solve their IRS problems. And I'm also the host of the IRS Radio Hour.
And I'm Jim Leahy, the co-host of the IRS Radio Hour, heard right here every Sunday evening at 5 on AM 560.
The Answer. I know you want a local attorney you can look in the eye and hold accountable for solving your IRS problem, not some big box outfit without a Chicago connection. So today we have a special offer. A good night's sleep.
A good night's sleep? Are you trying to give away a pillow?
Great guess, Jim. But no, I want to help people solve the problems that are keeping them up at night. If you fear the IRS will take away your money, freeze your bank account, garnish your wages, visit your home or job, and now they can take away your passport, you need to hire me to solve your IRS problem for good.
Call attorney Stephen Leahy, your Chicago IRS answer man at 312-664-6649, 312-664-6649, and get the IRS out of your business and your life for good.
You're the one that gets it done. The person your friends call to see if you can fix it. Brakes, no biggie. Shocks and struts, simple and straightforward. The catalytic converter heat shield, come on. If it has wheels, you can make it go. But not having the right part can bring your project to a screeching halt. Problem solved with MyPartsGarage.com. My Parts Garage is not a big box store that needs to wait to get a part in. My Parts Garage is the warehouse that sells wholesale to you. They own the inventory, so your part is always in stock. But wait, there's more. Like free shipping within 24 hours, in-state next-day delivery, or pick it up today at the warehouse. Plus, the customer service is seriously awesome. So the last thing you need to do is drive fast and furiously to find auto parts. With the average driver in Chicago commuting at least 24 miles per day, people are spending more hours in their car than they do at home. Drivers need you, the mechanic. You need MyPartsGarage.com. Lowest prices guaranteed.
Last winter was pretty much a piece of cake, but this winter, we're told, is gonna be a doozy.
Well, the Farmer's Almanac forewarns that bitterly cold, if not downright frigid, numbing cold weather will be predominating over these parts this winter.
Not looking good. But you can be ready. Smart businesses rely on Air Comfort to keep them and their customers warm this expected frigid winter. Air Comfort is one of the largest commercial and industrial service groups in the Chicago area, with dedicated factory-trained technicians that take a scientific approach to analyzing your system. They have comprehensive year-round preventative maintenance programs and emergency service, plus design, build, and install equipment for new construction and retrofits of existing mechanical systems. Now is a great time to call Air Comfort and schedule an analysis of your company's mechanical system by their certified award-winning engineering team. Call 708-345-1900 or visit aircomfort.com. Air Comfort, providing the right climate for business since 1935.
You know, that whole New Trier story reminds me of what Colonel Alan West says, the most important office in America, the office of school board member. One of the things we hadn't talked about there is the school board's culpability for what's going on at New Trier. And those school board members should be put in the crucible, too. Running a business can be challenging, especially here in Illinois. Mountains of regulations, taxes, fees, and more may be coming. Business owners who manage to survive and thrive deserve to be recognized, and that's exactly what we here at AM 560 The Answer are going to do. This spring, we'll be hitting the road on the AM 560 Business Tour presented by Signature Bank. A way for us to celebrate local businesses, overcoming the odds and succeeding. Think of it as making businesses great again. We want to give back to the business community by broadcasting our show from various locations throughout Chicagoland. Does your business have a great success story? If so, we want to hear about it. Go to 560theanswer.com/business. Fill out the brief form to tell us about how you and your business are beating the odds to serve your clients in your community. We'll select several businesses, as we were Service Master in Downers Grove this week and Signature Bank last week, as stops on our AM 560 Business Tour, broadcasting our show from your location to share your success with our audience. So go to 560theanswer.com/business to tell us your story. 560answer.com/business, and we may be stopping at your business this spring on the AM 560 Business Tour, sponsored by Signature Bank.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, why one state is trying to ban the declawing of cats. Meow. Was Angel declawed, Dan? We'll find out. Wait, it's a good tease. That's Dan's cat growing up, Angel. But first, let's go into our news, Angel. Here's Mike Scott.
23 degrees. We have sunny skies. And we're watching developments in southern France this morning, where a 16-year-old girl has been among those arrested by anti-terror forces today. The Paris prosecutor's office saying authorities have uncovered a makeshift bomb-making factory and explosive TATP and other base ingredients for fabricating bombs in that home that was raided. Officials at Phillips 66 say one of its pipeline employees remains unaccounted for following a fire sparked by an explosion at a station that it operates west of New Orleans. The administration now mulling what to do next about the president's travel restrictions. A three-judge panel of the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals unanimously ruled yesterday against lifting a temporary restraining order against the so-called ban, the president promising to fight back.
We'll see them in court. It's a political decision, and we're going to see them in court, and I look forward to doing it.
1 week ago, a federal judge in Washington state blocked the executive order. Tom Price, the new U.S. Secretary of Health and Human Services.
The ayes are 52, the nays are 47. The nomination is confirmed.
Price is an outspoken critic of Obamacare and expected to carry out Republican plans to repeal and replace the health care law. 9 are without a home following a 3-alarm fire that destroyed an apartment building in suburban Oak Park. Authorities are identifying a Chicago man who was found dead this week in a lake in the hills. The remains of Lawrence Johnson were discovered alongside Route 31. He was reported missing last month. Blackhawks continue their 6-game road trip tonight against the Jets. Bulls square off against the Suns in Phoenix. The news, a service of Staples. Filing your own taxes this year? Staples helps you be accountable with everything you need for tax season for less. Storage boxes, filing supplies, to software like QuickBooks and TurboTax. And right now, get up to $15 off when you buy TurboTax in-store only. Ends 4/1/17. Staples make more happen. 8:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher tells the left to keep quiet.
We keep hearing about what we are. This is not who we are. This is not who we are. That's become the left's mantra all of a sudden. I love them telling us who we are. You know who we are? We're a country that elected the person you didn't want to win. Who we are is not who you wanted us to be.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, great coffee, period.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I was diagnosed with congestive heart failure. I went from being able to work 14, 16 hours a day with no problem to where I could barely walk a block to the store. I went on to the phytonutrients about 6 months ago, and within a couple of months, my medical doctor had cut my prescriptions down in a little bit smaller dosage. The next time I went back a month later, I walked into the doctor's office and he says, "My gosh, what's happened to you? You don't even look like the same person." He looked at my legs and the swelling had gone down. My blood pressure was down. The venous stasis ulcers that I had had on my legs for the last 4 or 5 years because of the poor circulation were all healed, and I'm feeling far better.
The new challenge will allow you to receive 2 months of Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies free. And we'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago.
Gatto Industrial Platers, Inc. is the specialist in zinc and zinc nickel plating. Gatto is big, they're good, and they're easy to work with. Their high production rack plating line has up to a 15-foot capacity to handle any zinc plating requirement. Gatto's 210,000 square foot facility can process 300 tons per day and offers complete custom packaging with available pickup and delivery in the Chicago metro area by Gatto's own fleet of trucks. All of Gatto's products are inspected and certified to ensure that each customer is receiving the best and most cost-effective plating protection. Gatto is home to King Kong, the largest zinc plating line in North America that can zinc plate parts up to 27 feet long and weighing up to 10,000 pounds. For a quote and fast 24 to 48-hour service, call George Gatto Jr. or George Gatto Sr. at 1-800-290-1223. That's 1-800-290-1223. 1-800-290-1223.
8:36. Check the roads. Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center time. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The inbound Kennedy has delays starting at Montrose, 42 minutes O'Hare to downtown, 32 from Montrose, 30 in the Express. Outbound slow Montrose to Harlem, 26 minutes downtown to O'Hare. The Edens is just fine. Inbound Eisenhower bottled up from Des Plaines Avenue to the Circle, 54 minutes Thorndale to the post office. Outbound 32. Stevenson, 54 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 44, the exit to Cicero is blocked with a crash. Ryan, 31 minutes, 95th to downtown. Lakeshore Drive, it's slow southbound, Montrose to North Avenue and 18th to Stevenson. Northbound Tri-State delays are from Archer to 75th, from the Stevenson to 47th, and from the Reagan Tollway to 290. The other tollways are fine. Northbound I-65 still closed at State Road 10 and Roselaw to clean up an earlier truck fire. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Jim, thank you. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the aircomfort.com Weather Center, breezy and milder today. Clouds and sunshine mixed, high 42. Currently 23. Next news at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Real Estate Airwaves. Check out the show that's all about making money in real estate every Sunday at noon on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. So we have tackled a number of issues this morning, race relations, ethics in government, national security and immigration policy, many, many things. Voter fraud.
The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals.
Yeah. Now it's time to get serious.
Kellyanne Conway's QVC moment.
Now it's time to tackle a real issue. It's time to stop the playing around and address this straight away. New Jersey is considering becoming the first state to ban declawing of cats. Okay.
We have our cat.
I'll take that as a statement of support. Should Illinois follow suit? Should Illinois ban the declawing of cats? All of you fellow crazy cat ladies like Amy, 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro. Answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro. Text line, or crazy senior men like my dad. You're welcome to call in or text in your opinion on this topic.
Hey,
Amy, I'll defer to your expertise on the subject.
I thank you for seeking my opinion on this after someone who has just declawed a cat, and now I'm starting to regret it because, I declawed her because, look, I was either going to have her declawed or find her a farm to live on in Wisconsin because she started scratching my kids. I don't really care about the furniture. I mean, I could, put blankets on top of it, but she started lunging at my children and scratching them.
Peyton and Eli aren't babies.
No, those cats they're sly little things. They pop out at you when you least expect it. Walk into the bathroom, they'll get you, and they leave a mark. So I searched. I had to leave the city of Chicago to go to the suburbs to get my cat declawed because everywhere I went, they looked at me with such disdain, like, that's barbaric. We don't do that anymore.
Is this cat that you have, is this the undead cat from Pet Sematary, or is this just like a normal house cat?
It was normal, and then got a little crazy. Something happened after she gave birth, and she hasn't been the same.
So you had to go black market to get your cat declawed?
I did. Well, they weren't going to charge me triple the price in the city as opposed to the suburbs. So remember that one day I was late for work? I was literally dropping my cat off to be declawed at 4 a.m.
Now, I didn't realize this at the time when I was just a wee lad.
Mm-hmm.
But so declawing, right? I mean, I know this now, but declawing a cat is like cutting off the tips of your fingers.
Yeah, it's
because you have to go in between the joints.
Can you stop making me feel bad?
It's like you use a guillotine, and it's like so. Here's what they did to your cat.
I'm not listening.
Your sanction, you paying for this with the blood money And so what they do is, right there, there's a
Okay, we
space.
stop.
Are you looking at this space? And then they come down and they just slice
Okay.
that right off. So it turns there it is. That was an
That
actual
was Kit Kat.
recording.
Yeah.
Kit Kat, and what's the other one? Crazy. Yeah,
We'll just say Crazy P.
That's the one that wears the diaper, right? That's how you tell them apart.
Crazy P is the rat killer. in our
Under the
neighborhood.
bill in New Jersey,
Yes.
veterinarians who declaw cats, other than to address a medical condition, would face fines up to $1,000 and a term of imprisonment of up to 6 months.
6 months. Yeah.
The American Veterinary Medical Association, representing more than 89,000 veterinarians, does not support having lawmakers tell doctors what to do and does not agree that declawing cats is barbaric.
Well, when Angel, so you had a cat named Angel, rest its soul, Angel.
I'm not prepared to talk about this. It's only
Well,
been
I need to know
30 years.
if Angel was declawed or not. Were your parents barbaric and declawed Angel? Dan, answer the question now.
On advice of counsel, I will be invoking my Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination.
Was Angel declawed or not?
It's a surgical procedure that has complications that go with it, says the American Veterinary Medical Association's Animal Welfare Division Director. The group does believe, however, declawing should be considered only if the claws pose a risk to the owner and attempts to modify behavior have been failed. So rather than disfiguring your cat, Amy, maybe you could have just trained it a little bit better. Maybe
He hasn't walked the same since, though. Oh, boy.
I mean, I can't believe
You're digging deep on this.
Well, I can't believe I've done the show this long with such a monster.
When we were growing up in the 70s and the 80s, everybody got their cat declawed.
If everybody jumped off a cliff, would you jump off a cliff?
Angel was declawed. I know it. I have a lifeline here to Larry Proft, who went to high school with my mom, by the way.
Yeah.
Creepy, weird. Graduated same class, weird. And Larry let me know that Angel is declawed. If I can't get my information from one Proft, there's another one out there that has the information I need. Thank you, Dan.
He's the weak link. He always talks.
I told Dad not to talk.
Kurt in Park Ridge, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
You know, this whole subject just shows what a race to the bottom the society is going through right now. That in New Jersey, they're worried more about a cat's claws than about a fetus in a woman's womb.
Yeah.
They're worried about a cat's problems. I mean, you know what? Make it illegal to own cats then. If you don't want to, you know, you're worried about you have to declaw them, just don't let people own them then because, you know, they should be in the wild.
Thanks for the call,
But it's just
Kurt.
strange that lawmakers are telling doctors what to do now. And if they don't comply, $1,000 fine or 6 months in jail. Really, can you imagine that conversation? You just have a cellmate. What are you here for? Declawing a cat. I'm a veterinarian, though, and I studied it, and I've done it 100,000 times. But I'm in the clank for that.
That's not going to go well in the yard. Sean in Elmwood Park, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
I'll tell you what, cats are the Democrats of animals with their false arrogance, spreading their stink around, making good people sneeze. I can't stand them. And the idea that we're talking about, I mean, I can't believe you guys live with cats. You know they're just waiting for you to sleep to claw your eyes out. Declaw every last one of them, put those little collars around them and hang them from chains in the thing. Drop it off at a Korean restaurant for pot stickers. Now, another thing is, your guest was fantastic the last hour because what he did was he showed you that these movements of Black Lives Matter, these collectivist organizations, are nothing more than communists passing off a utopia for a vision that you can never achieve. That the real utopia is individual. It doesn't come through school boards, which are slush funds of corruption. Now, either fix it or give me one of those janitor jobs where they're making $70 an hour for a light bulb to go out and they're getting stretch marks. I am so sick of pretending these people have virtue. It's outrageous what goes on. Just prance through a school. Look at the paychecks and look at the sloth.
All right, thanks for the call, Sean. I tell you, the interesting thing about Sean, and this is perhaps the only interesting thing, is he is just as passionate about declawing cats as he is about race relations, as he is about tax policy, as he is about Obamacare, as he is about Fabian socialism.
I love Fabian socialism, especially on a Friday. It's such a great topic.
Well, it's a nice way to enter the weekend.
Yeah.
There's no modulation though.
We would.
I mean, I can't be intense about every topic. Similarly intense. I can't be so exercised about jaywalking as I am abortion. But Sean does have the ability. Clay and Downers Grove, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Morning, Dan and Amy. Called in a couple of times. I just wanted to say that this is only going to lead to more back alley declaws and put more cats in risk.
Yeah.
See?
Thanks for the call, Clay. I
It's
see
gonna
what you
happen
did
to
there.
you. My poor little baby. Can I get her claws back?
Yeah, maybe prosthetics. Maybe they'll make prosthetics.
Well, I did try those claw caps. That was a joke. They're little,
Yeah.
like little. They're claw caps that you put on. That didn't go well. I got a lot of scratches, right? Even trying to put the claw caps on her, and then I tried to cut her nails. That didn't end well for Eli. He was trying to hold her down. It didn't work.
Yeah. We'll go ahead and refer you for animal cruelty charges after the show.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Oh, some sunshine and high wispy clouds. It's going to be a nice day, a high of 42 degrees. And your weekend looks pretty good. Saturday, mostly cloudy, a high of 46. And on Sunday, a little rain in the morning, breezy, with snow showers in the afternoon, a high of 42 degrees. Let's go to our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy. And Dan, inbound Kennedy, stop and go Montrose to the Hubbard Street Tunnel. It's 40 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, 30 from Montrose, 32 in the Express. The locals are a little quicker. The Ohio Feeder's backed up. Outbound, it is 34 minutes downtown to O'Hare. Really slow now, Lawrence to Canfield. The Edens is fine. Inbound Eisenhower, 53 minutes. Thorndale to the post office, 40 from Manheim. Outbound 30 to Thorndale. Stevenson, 52 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 42, jammed western to Cicero, where the exit just reopened after a crash. The Ryan, 31 minutes, 95th to downtown. Southbound Lakeshore Drive, still Montrose to North Avenue and 18th to the Stevenson. Northbound Tri-State, Heavy Archer to 75th. The Stevenson to 47th. And from the Reagan Tollway to the Eisenhower. The other tollways are good. Northbound I-55, blocked at State Road 10 due to an earlier truck fire, and traffic's forced off there. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing, independently owned business bank. Signature Bank listens to your story, learns about your business, and sticks with their customers. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Kurt Penn, founder and CEO of Good Foods. In 2007, I was shopping in a natural foods grocery store and had a vision for a company that would produce fresh, all-natural foods with a social conscience. Signature Bank helped turn that vision into what now is Good Foods. Signature Bank President Mick O'Rourke listened to our story and learned about our business. Mick has been with us every step of the way. Signature Bank takes care of the details so we can focus on producing good foods. Signature Bank is deeply invested in our success. Good Foods is very proud to bank with Signature Bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. Learn more about turning your business vision into reality. Visit signature-bank.com. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Fruits and vegetables are one of the very best, if not the best way to help protect your body from many of the lifestyle diseases plaguing our nation. Eating over 10 servings of fruits and vegetables daily will help build your immune system to over 720% and is the single most important thing you can do for your health, along with diet and exercise. Why are fruits and vegetables such a powerful health consideration? Because they contain tens of thousands of phytonutrients prepared especially by Mother Nature to nourish our body on a cellular level. Dr. Howard successfully formulated and perfected a mix of 31 different fruits and vegetables and scientifically removed the water and air through a proprietary cold vacuum system, reducing them into a super powder which maintains 99.9% of its nutrient value, then packaging them into vegetarian capsules ready for consumption. Here's Dr. Howard.
What does good nutrition not benefit? Can you name anything that good nutrition will not help? It's not a cure-all. The scope of what it can help is so wide because our bodies are really fabulous, amazing chemical laboratories. Everything that functions in your system is a chemical response. Keeping that chemistry in balance and keeping the cells communicating with each other the very best possible way is absolutely the best way to reduce your risk of disease and also help your body help itself even fighting most of these diseases.
Balance of Nature is celebrating its 20th anniversary by providing you the best offer they've ever given. 2 free months of fruits and veggies and free shipping. Call now for details. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago.
AM 560, The Answer.
Oh, the stray cat. Stray cat grunt. I got a Facebook message from a listener, Cecilia. I rescued my cat 5 years ago, ruined all my furniture. I have new furniture now that I have wrapped in plastic cling wrap. Ugh. Well, at least she's not a barbarian, didn't have her cat declawed like some people.
Well, I want, because somebody just texted me, and I want people to know the cat, the outdoor cat, the one that kills the rats on a daily basis, that thing still has its claws because he's an outdoors cat. But the one that I declawed is an indoor cat now. And she's not happy.
Indoor cat, like all our politicians are indoor cats. John in Crown Point.
Yeah, I had an idea. I think that'd be a good idea for Illinois to ban that, because then we'd have some business opportunities over here in Indiana. People could drive over and get their cats declawed.
Well, there you go. Oh, looking at the financial legal. Thanks for the call, John.
Animal owner's choice, though? And why is there such shaming going on with declawing? I mean, really, my vet that I go to said, I can't help you, and we don't do that. It's barbaric. And if we were to do it, it would cost $2,000. Then I went out to the suburbs, the same procedure, $450.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
and then you just found a guy with a razor on the street corner in Lakeview.
I did the right thing.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Then why are you feeling guilty?
What's the cat's name again?
Kit Kat.
Oh yeah. What does Kit Kat have to say about that?
Kit Kat has never looked at me the same.
Yeah.
Has never looked at me the same.
The relationship has soured.
Yeah, and she stopped cleaning herself. It's just she's got some behavior issues. They also suggested
stop cleaning herself.
Mm-hmm. So I have to clean her.
She's like a CTA bus driver.
Stop it. But the veterinarian said your cat's so high strung. Have you thought about giving it
putting it to
Prozac?
Sleep?
No, Prozac.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not giving my cat drugs every day. I'll take his claws out, but I'm not going to give Prozac.
Well, you could split the Prozac with the cat.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
You've been lied to by corrupt Washington politicians and the Wall Street propaganda machine. Hi, I'm Inc. magazine best-selling author Brett Kitchen, and I want to give you a free copy of my brand new book, Wealth Beyond Wall Street, because we all know another market crash could be right around the corner. After losing 35% in my IRA in the crash years ago, I said enough, and since then I discovered a way to grow money potentially double digits, reduce taxes dramatically, and also have my money protected when the next stock market crash hits. When the next market crash hits, you lose nothing. Call Wealth Beyond Wall Street now to get your free copy and talk with a specialist to discover this little-known strategy to get potential double-digit growth during good years and never lose when the next stock market crash hits, all while building a tax-advantaged retirement. Call 1-800-920-8484 to discover this asset that people like Walt Disney and JCPenney use to grow wealthy. Plus, get one of just 97 free books left. We even cover shipping and handling, no credit card required. Call 800-920-8484. 1-800-920-8484. That's 1-800-920-8484.
Guys, Valentine's Day is this Tuesday. 2 words you never thought you'd hear. Flirty and flannel, especially coming from me. Not anymore. Flirty flannel pajamas.
Can you say it in a more seductive voice?
This is my seductive voice.
That's why you're alone on Valentine's Day.
The experts at Pajamagram took the warm flannel she loves.
Okay, this is uncomfortable.
And made it into a sexy PJ you'll love too. Soft, warm flannel with an inviting look that feels seductive, fun, and flirty. Who knew flannel could be this sexy? Pajamagram, that's who. They reinvented classic flannel with a flirty twist just for you and me. Delivery is guaranteed by Valentine's Day. But you got to order now. Go to pajamagram.com or call this unfortunate number, 1-800-GIVE-PJs.com. It's 1-800-GIVE-PJS, P as in Paul, JS.com. That's the phone number, 1-800-GIVE-PJs. Pajamagram.com. say goodbye to boring flannel PJs and say hello to flirty flannel. That's a mouthful. And so are those pajamas.
This is Eric Metaxas. Over the last year, I've been telling you about Liberty University's online degree programs, and many of you have begun completing your education through Liberty. For those of you who have not taken the step, a new year always offers new opportunities, so why not make 2017 the year you finally decide to finish your degree? Liberty University is the world's largest Christian university with over 95,000 students studying around the world through Liberty's online programs. So maybe you've procrastinated. You may have even convinced yourself that you just don't have the time. Well, the only thing standing in the way of completing your college education